Objection calls for hearsay.
NANI?
Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one. Had a conversation with Miss Heard.
Hearsay.
Let's move beyond the conversation that Kevin Murphy had with Mr.
Said, yes, they had. Okay. It appears that Miss Heard had told...
Hearsay, Your Honor.
Elon Musk agrees to buy Twitter in a $44 billion deal. Agreement to take social media network private marks the close of dramatic courtship.
He's here.
Professionally, it truly makes me feel like I am not trusted as a professional. I know my kindergarten standards through and through, and nowhere in our curriculum does it have anything about teaching sexual orientation or sexual identity. So for them to say that's happening, it's kind of crazy. But we should be able to have discussions, and that's what we're encouraged to do in kindergarten. And then personally, because my kids do have questions. They want to know who my partner is in picture.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man. I ain't got time to bleed.
Wow. So I'd say that a lot has happened since we were last here. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the War on Pop Culture. I am Special Agent Spooky Clutter.
I am Special Agent Danerable Boehner. I eat garbage.
And I am T-Con, a.k.a. the King of a Nation.
And tonight we are joined by the one, the only Wolfman from Mega Movie Z. Welcome back to the War on Pop Culture, sir. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I am very happy to discuss the defecation trial today. So that'll be very fun.
You know, just as a quick side note, and of course we'll get more into it as the show goes on, but can you just imagine like being with somebody that's so spiteful of your existence that you literally take a shit in your own bed, with the bed that you sleep with, just to get one on the guy that you hate? It's like, why?
What about
my worst enemy?
What about paying off the homeless guy to retrieve your phone?
What?
Clarify?
You didn't know about the phone being thrown out the window, and Johnny Depp went down there and paid the guy $420 for the phone and gave him some tacos and stuff like that. You didn't see that?
This is news to me. You ever heard about that, Michael?
I gotta pull up that article.
I don't think that's been brought up at the trial, so I have no idea.
You know, I did see like an article title about it, but I never looked it up though. I just saw it. I'm like, that's very interesting. But anyway, so we have a bit of I'd say a somewhat jam-packed show tonight. So first things first, Elon Musk bought Twitter, or he bought a large portion of the shares, and he basically owns Twitter now, turning it into a now privately owned platform rather than a public platform, as they've titled it in the past several years. And it's not so much that Elon Musk, Tesla, he's a very, very rich guy. I'm always hesitant about certain billionaires, just out of general caution.
Most billionaires are douchebags. Let's just
especially the ones that can't stop preaching about their political views on social media. Getting on a virtual soapbox and blabbing their mouth. I mean, you see this all the time with actors. We've seen it how many times now? Whether it's about the LGBT community or Black Lives Matter or support Ukraine, all these different things. And so the reactions, right, to Elon Musk buying Twitter have been hilarious, to say the least. And I'm not talking just on Twitter itself or social media, but on, like CNN, for example. We're gonna pull up a clip here in a few minutes, and we're gonna listen to this guy talk about how dangerous it is now that Elon Musk has bought Twitter. And the really funny thing is that one of the common sort of narratives going around about this whole situation is that it's almost like an oxymoron, because you have these people that are talking about that people's voices are going to be silenced now that Elon Musk has Twitter. And by people, I mean like oppressed minorities, the typical LGBT community, the Black community, the women's community. These different so-called oppressed groups are apparently under attack because Elon Musk bought Twitter. Now, all of us here already know that that's a bunch of horse shit. And in this clip that I'm going to pull up, you'll see how ludicrous it's gotten, this discussion. What do you guys think so far?
Honestly, Twitter fucking sucks anyways. I mean, but the funniest thing I've been hearing since Elon bought it.
You're muted, Banner. Here.
Danner!
No caprendo. We cannot hear you. I'm probably going to get canceled now for doing that.
He's
All
gone.
right.
Well, anyway, just a real quick mention of Texas. There was a guy here in Texas that offered 100 acres for free for Elon Musk to move his headquarters to Texas. Bingo. Wow. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And hey, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I was kind of gonna agree with Danner that I have Twitter that I made for my YouTube channel, but I barely use it anyways. So no matter what happens, honestly, I could kind of give two shits, because it's I don't use Twitter, so it's not going to affect me. It might affect other people, but it's not going to affect me. So,
can you hear us, Danner?
Yep.
I'm sorry. What were you saying? What were you saying, Kadon?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Did I get cut out while I was in the middle of my rant?
Yes, you were. You're going to have to rewind your rant, if possible.
Okay. That's funny how people think Twitter was such a great place until then, as if it wasn't toxic already. Pretty much that. They think that hate speech will be enforced on Twitter simply because Elon bought it. It was already there.
Yeah, the funny thing is, some of these responses I've been seeing on Twitter have been talking about how white supremacy will be emboldened on Twitter. White supremacy, wow. Because we all know that the white race, if you want to call it that, has been targeted and being kind of is the scapegoat for anything that goes wrong in the Western world.
The white race. Wow. Cancel Caleb. Cancel you. Cancel. No.
The so-called white race, if you want to call it that, right? Right. But what you really have to boil it down to is more of a question, really. Why is it that the white race is being targeted? Well, it's simple. Because of history, as if to say that no other race under the sun has ever committed heinous acts of violence against other groups of people. It's only the white race, right? People are very selective about history. It's like when you actually go and look at the entire context of something, you look at the whole picture and not just one tiny angle or one tiny corner, you begin to see that humanity has done some fucked up shit. And it doesn't matter what race or what gender you are, men and women, because there are only two genders, right?
10-4.
Okay.
Hey, don't you know there's like 70 genders according to the left?
Whoa, I thought 70.
you-
I thought
how
it
do
was
you
like 10,000.
Know this
Or
well,
10,536.
I don't know. I thought
that
they
was
just.
it.
I thought they just came out and said I don't know. They've said a ton of numbers there. Just way
Well,
too much.
the thing is that when you always hear about the LGBT community, they're always adding on more characters to that list. It's LGBTQIA plus 2 or 2 plus.
What?
Yeah,
I know. Look, okay, it's insane. Okay, it's utterly insane. That is the point. That it's gotten so ludicrous that you just keep on adding more of these, numbers or characters to this community, and it's never going to stop. That's really the definition of insanity. I mean, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
soon
this time it's like
soon that will be the world's longest word if you can count it as such.
it's not even a word. It's just like an abbreviation, or
it'll be the
term.
longest term or whatever you want to say. LGBTQIAWs XYZ plus.
It'll be the entire alphabet, for fuck's sakes.
I mean, pretty much, right? We're just missing several characters, but I mean, yeah. Before we watch the video, Carter's here. He says, "Hey there, from the Speedway." Hello, Carter. Wish you could be here discussing the what did you call it? The defecation trial. Michael?
Yes, defecation trial.
Carter says everybody gets butthurt every time they see a rebel flag. I personally think the rebel flag is cool.
Talking about butthurt right when I said defecation.
Clever. All right, so the whole point is that people on Twitter and social media and the news outlets have just they've decided to make Elon Musk the next boogeyman to blame for problems. Social media is under attack. These different oppressed minorities are under attack, right? So
he's like the new Donald Trump to the left.
There you go. And hypocrisy and double standards. Those are two terms that we must remember as we watch this video. And remember, we're going to watch it all the way through, and then I'll replay it again, and I'll pause periodically, and we can discuss it. Just listen to what this fucking clown has to say.
If you own all of Twitter or Facebook or what have you, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates, all of its nominees, or you could just secretly turn down the reach of their stuff and turn up the reach of something else. And the rest of us might not even find out about it till after the election. Elon Musk says this is all to help people because he is just a free speech, philosophically clear, open-minded helper. If you own...
Hello?
Isn't that like the point? He's has free speech and to be open-minded.
If that's not the kettle calling the pot black, I don't know what is, because they've been doing the same shit for ages.
Hypocrisy and double standard.
Well, I mean, what happened when Sleepy Joe got elected? They banned Trump from Twitter. Now they're whining about this shit?
And Elon Musk might actually bring Trump back on Twitter. Who knows? I mean, that's a possibility.
Own all of Twitter or Facebook or what have you. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't even have to be transparent. You could secretly ban one party's candidate or all of its candidates, all of its nominees.
Okay, right there, right?
There it is.
That's what these fuckers have been doing for years. They have been secretly shadow banning people. They have been taking people off of their social media platform. They control the shit. This is something that we've talked about before. This is something that other people that are, sort of commentators on this situation in pop culture and such, that you have an entire industry controlled by one political viewpoint. Okay. And because of that, you have a situation like what happened with Gina Carano.
Yep.
Okay. Where you get fired for having the wrong opinion when you are the outlier in a group full of the same people. All right. You're going to automatically be targeted because you're the one person that said no. Okay. And when you voice certain opinions, especially on these social media platforms that are controlled by these fucking animals.
Lunatics.
I don't even know if animals is really a proper word, though, because that's an insult to animals. At least animals have more decency.
Except for giraffes.
And they're not pedophiles.
That too.
Except for giraffes.
Yeah, I guess giraffes. So I guess we're going to call this guy a giraffe. He kind of looks like a giraffe, doesn't he? Does he look like a giraffe?
Without the long neck.
Yeah.
Well, hey, his nose is long enough.
That's a good start, right?
But even the banning part, like when they banned the Babylon Bee, like one of the best satirical news sites ever.
Yeah.
And then there's that shit going on with that. I don't know what was the name of that fucking reporter who goes around doxing people, who was like crying about how mean tweets gave her PTSD or some shit, going after libs of TikTok, like searching for their family members and stuff. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
But there you go. But it's just
Twitter is hell.
Yeah, I mean, the hypocrisy coming out of this fucker's mouth it's laughable, because everything that he's saying in this 31-second clip is everything that they have done for the past several years. Okay,
and you know, in the moment I knew that Twitter was like complete shit was during this whole Black Lives Matter bullshit. And Hugh Jackman, you know, he made a actual good post. I was proud of him. He had a post of a cop and a black person that were hugging each other, and just simply put the word solidarity. That's all he's put, you know, because he's like saying, yeah, I want everyone to have solidarity, all be kind to each other, stuff like that. And people were saying, oh my God, he's on the side of the police, and oh my God, how dare he? Oh, cancel Hugh Jackman. And it was like this big thing going on Twitter, and it was like so dumb.
This generalization is just indictment against our culture, where it's just everyone is trying to make it the us versus them.
Yep, that's called the conquer and divide, Danner. You're spot on.
Divide and conquer.
Yep. Conquer and divide and conquer.
First.
Same thing.
You have to divide first, then conquer, right? That's the idea.
And that's in progress right now, and that's why we got to stop it, because if we don't, it's tearing at the fabric of everything. And obviously, you guys know this. So, you know, this is why we're the voice for everybody, not just here in this continent, but for the whole world. So
we have to be. Yeah. If you have the capability to do so, then you should do it. You should try it out. Don't be afraid to speak your mind on these things, because you're not alone. It may seem like you're alone because, you know, there's a lot of people that are afraid to speak out. It's just now is the time to do so. Now is the time. And the thing about this whole situation with Elon Musk, I'm sort of 50-50 on this, because I don't fully trust Elon Musk either. And anything can happen with this Twitter thing, because, you know, they could easily be setting us up for, you know, kind of like pulling the rug out from under our feet. Like, oh yeah, Elon Musk has, secured the free speech for us on Twitter. And then all of a sudden something snaps, and then something goes completely wrong. You put all your eggs in the Elon Musk basket, and now you're screwed. That's why I'm sort of neutral on this. I'm like, okay, Elon Musk has bought Twitter. Disney is being outed for a lot of really shady shit, which obviously you saw in the intro. I mean, the whole "don't say gay" bill, and Twitter or Disney wanting to, you know, being kicked out of Florida, essentially. You know, all this shit going on. It seems like the tide is turning, and I want to believe that. I really do. It's
Cautiously.
Just my gut tells me to just, you know, hold off. Just see what happens, see how this plays out. Don't automatically go in one direction, because then you get tunnel vision. You won't see what's going on around you. It could all be bells and whistles, distraction, and then you get screwed.
Well, we have to remember that before Trump got into office, you know, everything was really crazy going on, okay? And all of a sudden, Trump sweeps his way in and he captures everybody. It eventually creates something called the Q thing. I don't know if you guys heard about Q.
QAnon.
Yeah, the QAnon.
Q, like Q from Impractical Jokers?
No, no, it's a QAnon thing. But yet there was a lot of good information coming out of Q, but it was all a big setup to bring you down. So, I would just approach all these things cautiously. That's all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or you could just secretly turn down the reach of their stuff and turn up the reach of something else. And the rest of us might not even find out about it till after the election.
Okay. Literally, again, what they've been doing. Okay.
Exactly.
In fact, that was actually a really big point of focus during the election for Trump versus Biden. That's exactly what was going on. I mean, you had a lot of prominent people talking about election fraud, and a lot of evidence is pointed to that actually happening. Of course, I don't know for certain. I'm not there. I wasn't there counting the ballots or anything like that. I can only theorize on.
We know for sure, because the reason why
absolutely
is if you watched, there is never in history supposed to have been any situation where the media calls who won. The media the media was all like, at first they were saying, "Oh my God, guys, this could take like a week long for the election. This could take days." All this stuff, and they at first were talking about that, and not all the votes were counted. I remember like there were certain states that had like 96% of the vote, 95% of the vote. They weren't all counted yet. Even if they were in Biden's favor at that time, they were not all counted yet, and there were recounts happening. There were all this stuff, and then the next day, all these media outlets go on there and say Biden has won the election. Yeah, yeah, and I was like, what happened? It's like even with my state, Virginia. All right, like sure, we voted Democrat, unfortunately. We voted Hillary. I didn't, but Virginia has.
Well,
and we voted other places. But Biden, even though he won Virginia, they called it after 20% of the vote.
Look,
20%.
Here's the deal.
Like Virginia's been called, and I was like, what the hell?
Look, man, the deal with Virginia, that's the preeminent state where Trump was ahead by like 500,000 or 600,000 votes by the time everybody went to bed, and then the next morning, it's like it just completely flipped. But that was in Michigan, that was in Wisconsin, that was in Georgia, and that was in Arizona. It was a complete flip when everybody was sleeping, and that's where it comes in. That's why I recommend if you go to InfoWars, you could read this article about the 2,000 mules. That those were the people that came in with the vote, the ballots that were never folded. They were laid out ballots. They were manipulated, and they were fed into machines and counted. Hey, look, Michael, I'm sure you're already privy to what's going on. I'm sure you guys, Caleb and Dan, or maybe have looked at this as well. That is just massive voter fraud, massive. And then it got shot down even by the Supreme Court. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Plus, you heard about the situation with the Sharpies and how there were some people using Sharpies to vote,
yes,
to where it would mess with people with other voting, sheets or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
right, exactly. Yeah, that was going on too. But the biggest thing is that it could have been anybody. There were even Chinese that were tapping into the through Wi-Fi into voting centers and doing something with the machines. Remember, the machines were Wi-Fi capable, and they were saying they weren't. It's a freaking lie, man. The evidence is there, and it's just like with any type of conspiracy. You got to do your research and then draw your own conclusions. But I think it's just so obvious, like Michael was, expressing earlier, that I mean, it's a no-brainer, man. That there was fraud, just epic fraud all over the place.
Well, up here in Canada, because it's not a two-party system, we don't use machines to vote. Instead, they give us these teeny tiny pencils, which bring a pen when you cast your vote, I'd say.
Oh my God! How about an eraser?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm confident enough that if Pierre Poilievre becomes the leader of the Conservative Party up here, he'll fucking throw Trudeau off a bridge in the next election.
Well, we were hoping for that in France too. Since Canada is French, Le Pen, I would have loved to have seen her over this fraud Macron, but he's a poster child for the globalists, so they got to keep him in there.
Right.
Elon Musk says this is all to help people because he is just a free speech, philosophically clear, open-minded helper.
The condescending tone is hilarious. And this is something that we've always seen. It's always like mudslinging, throwing shit at each other and seeing what sticks. Name calling, playground talk, right? That's how we used to call it, playground talk. But it really does say a lot because they're so afraid of Elon Musk because they've had so much control over this one platform. And it's multiple platforms, let's be real. But since we're focusing on Twitter, this one platform has been controlled by the far left, leftist, whatever you want to call them. And they got so comfortable with their shit, being able to shadow ban people, remove people's accounts. A bunch of people that I follow, like Drunk 3PO from Geeks and Gamers, fucking Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. So many people have been banned, kicked off of Twitter, and now their accounts have been reinstated. And it's nice to see. That's why I'm holding a little hope at the same time, being cautious about the whole thing because anything could just flip on a dime and suddenly we're back to square one, if not worse. But all we can do is wait and see.
Yeah, exactly.
So and I like what Carter said, free speech my ass, because I was watching a liberal girl talk about this Elon Musk situation. Said there's a difference between free speech and like lies that are going to threaten and hurt people, around like in minorities and communities and stuff like that. And I'm like, but it's all opinions. So technically speaking, it's all free speech. Even that stuff, that's all free speech. So you can't say, oh, it's not free speech because it's like, yeah, and it is.
Well, they refer to this type of things as hate speech, and the thing is that hate speech is not real. Like, it's not a legally viable term. That's literally something that was made up, and this was done years ago, even before Trump was put in office. But it was especially used and abused when Trump was in office or leading up to his to the election, putting him in office. But hate speech is not real in the sense that, like from a legal standpoint, that there is no hate speech. Is there speech that is hateful? Sure. Calling a black person the N-word or any kind of derogatory racial term. Obviously, that's hateful speech, or that's, offensive, if you want to call it that, even though, again, all these fucking terms are overused and abused. They mean nothing anymore. So much of these terms are meaningless because they've been abused so much, they've lost their meaning. It's because you can call anybody toxic. You can call anybody racist. I find it very funny that when you have people like, for example, in Black Lives Matter that believe sincerely, or maybe they don't, maybe they know it's bullshit and they're just playing the game, right? They're talking about how black people are oppressed and that they're being abused by the system. Then you have other black people that say, no, we're not. A lot of it is personal choice, among many other things. Is there system influence? Sure. Are there still pockets in this country that have racist people? Sure. With that said, it's not influencing the entirety of the country. Some backwater little cowpoke town in the middle of nowhere is not influencing national elections.
And neither is the ghetto doing that either. So it's not just black or white, it's black too. I mean, remember, the media is very powerful. They are projecting all this BS, which isn't happening. What's happening is our country's being destroyed. The Western society is being destroyed, and they're using this conquer and divide scenario, at least here in the United States, through black and white. And it's really overall not working. It's just the media and politics and, are just projecting.
Well, I love when people in these minority groups that all these woke-tards claim to be speaking for, whenever these people in these groups that they claim to be fighting for will actually say, no, I disagree with you when you keep saying we are underprivileged to everyone else, and then they'll just cry, oh, you're brainwashed or shit. It's like, I think we found the true bigot, because they're easy to weed out, because these people project. They only see race and gender and all those other basic assets of diversity, like
Right.
the basic ones. Like if someone who might be, I don't know, let's just say a black gay transgender person says, I'm not oppressed. Everyone will just say, oh my God, you're brainwashed.
Or they'll go even further.
It's called free thinking, asshole.
It's called free thinking, asshole. We need to get that on a shirt. It's called free thinking, asshole.
So
I could go do that tomorrow if I wanted.
Get this. It's like, you were talking about that, and that kind of reminds me of a situation. So a lesbian friend of mine who it turns out that she turned me down because she was a lesbian at one time when I asked her out. Didn't know that, but I was hanging out with her one day. We were going just getting a bite to eat, and she is someone who the left would normally say, "Oh yeah, well you have to be on our side." She recently spoke out saying I'm kind of getting, I am a lesbian, but I'm kind of getting sick of all this oh, representation this, oh, representation that, it's everywhere. It's really getting annoying, and I'm really kind of getting, seeing it everywhere, just plastered, it's this big thing. And this one girl apparently overheard us talking. She walks over, pours her drink on her, and says traitor, and then walks away. Because she was
bitch
talking, because she was not going with the proper agenda. She was saying,
but look right there. That's something that I want to mention real quick, and I'll let you talk, Danner. Is that when you have these people that they say they're fighting for the oppressed, and then the so-called oppressed say, "Hey, I'm not oppressed." Like, I'll give you an example. You got a black person that says, "I don't agree with Black Lives Matter. I don't think that there's white privilege. I don't think that black people are being oppressed." They'll call that black person a derogatory term like an Uncle Tom. It's happened. I've heard it. I've talked to people that have told me, they said, yeah, they call me an Uncle Tom because I said that Black Lives Matter is bullshit. It's like, what? So, yeah. Go ahead.
All I had was a joke, really. I mean, you just said that she turned you down because she's a lesbian. Now, if she says these words, I'm not into dudes, you know what you say? You say, well, neither am I. We've got something in common now.
There you go.
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go.
There you go.
So,
nice.
it's honestly getting out of hand. And the problem is that we've let our society go down this path of decadence. And it's not just here in the U.S. I'd say Western culture in general, up in Canada, over across the pond in the UK, Western society in general has gotten to a point now where it's laziness that has let these weeds grow in our beautiful garden, or what was once a beautiful garden. Now it's full of fucking weeds and deformed plants. I'm using this weird plant analogy, forgive me. But my point, yeah, I mean, my point is,
it sounds like me if I was a gardener.
Yeah. But my point is that we've let it go this far because we didn't do anything about it. I remember years ago, and I've said this before, maybe not here on War and Pop Culture, but in conversations I've had with people, that I saw all of this shit that's happening now. I saw this shit developing in 2012 when Obama got elected for a second time. That's when a lot of these things that we used to laugh at have grown so much. I remember watching videos on YouTube of Jordan Peterson, okay, where he would go on to some of these campuses and speak, and you have these weird-looking motherfuckers show up and talk about how he's racist or he's sexist or he's transphobic or homophobic, and he's having conversations with these people, and they're just so fucking stupid. They don't have any real arguments. They just keep on name-calling him. And I remember laughing at this shit. And I was like, man, this is getting kind of crazy. And each year, ever since 2012, each year, this shit has gotten progressively worse. And now we're at a point where, for example, California, the glorious, the utopia of the far left, right? It's such a beautiful place, right? I mean, you got piss on the floor, you got shit in the middle of the street, trash everywhere, homeless population just fucking exploded. But no, it's our utopia, right? This is how we want it to be. No more eating meat, by the way. We got to eat bugs. I'm kind of going off on a tirade, but my point is that
it's mostly LA that because there are I actually have talked to someone who said like Beverly Hills or some places in California are nicer than other places.
Well, yeah, because it's the fucking rich and elite. That's why. I mean, you got fucking Hollywood actors that can afford to live in better areas. They even got their own fucking private security. So of course it's going to look better. But for the common man and woman, they're for fucked. I feel bad for people that are living in LA that can't move anywhere else because they can't afford it. Okay, we let this shit go, and it developed into fucking shithole. And that's why in Texas, I love Texas. I used to love Austin, but now we call Austin Little California because that's essentially what it's become with all their stupid shit. Which is why I'm glad I don't live in that area anymore. I haven't even been down there in a while. It's been so long, but we're at a point now where we need to start taking these things back. We need to start looking for alternatives. You guys were talking about alternative films, and being that this is the war on pop culture, you've heard us talk about this many times. That support indie films, support fan films, support these people that aren't the fucking Hollywood elitists that are trying to that are insulting you and taking your money while they do it. Which is why I'm not supporting fucking Marvel and DC. And it's hard, man. It's hard because there are franchises that I love that are owned by Disney, for example. And I can't, in all good conscience, buy those products anymore, despite the fact that I love them, because they're owned by a fucking corporation that has made it clear that they don't like us. You know how hard that is? I mean, Disney owns so fucking much. It makes me want to vomit.
Too much.
Like right here, okay? Predator. Predator. They own Predator. They own 20th Century Fox. They own Alien. They own Predator. And I'm thinking to myself, this is one of my favorite franchises. This is one of my favorite franchises that I grew up on. And now they fucking own it. After they fucked Star Wars, after they're starting to fuck up their own Marvel shit, which we'll get into later, now they own, this. It's getting out of hand, and it's hard. It's hard to let go of some of these things, but it's something that has to be done, okay? Because if you continue giving these people money, nothing's going to change. You're going to continue funding them, and they're gonna continue these projects. They're going to continue doing this stupid shit, and you're wondering, well, shit, I wish that some of these alternatives would fucking succeed better, right? It's like, okay, here's your solution: drop fucking Marvel, drop DC. Yeah. I'm not saying get rid of what you have now. I'm saying don't fund any more projects going forward. If you believe, like I do, that Gina Carano was wronged when she was fired from Disney, cancel your Disney Plus. Stop buying the fucking Marvel toys. Stop buying the fucking cheap-ass Star Wars toys. I mean, we could go on an entire rant about just the toys alone and how crappy they look. I don't know if anyone else here are like figure collectors like I am, but
Hot Toys is the place to go now. But that's
but your local Facebook marketplace. Just
that too.
Anybody got any old Star Wars toys you don't want anymore? I'll buy them.
Yeah, I mean the older stuff. I mean, even though it looks dated somewhat, it still leagues better than what we have now. It's just a lot of this stuff is just fucking cheap.
I think there's a genuine value in it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys remember in the old days, and I'm saying old days weird. It's weird that I'm saying that, but I'm talking like the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. It is the old days. Yeah, I guess it is. But you guys remember when Star Wars used to fill up an entire aisle at the store? Like it wasn't just some fucking hole in the wall, right? It was an entire aisle of nothing but Star Wars.
Oh yeah. Well. Oh yeah. I should bring this up now. I mean, because you guys don't have Toys R Us in the States anymore, but we still got it up here. But
you're lucky.
Am I?
Oh, come on. You
That-
can make an exception for Jeffrey the Giraffe.
Fuck
Hey,
him. Hey,
one time I was in Toys R Us and everyone looked at me weird because they were like, "Why is this grown man in Toys R Us?" And then I was like, "You know,
Because
wear-
fuck you, that's
let,
why.
Well, let me ask you this: do you walk in wearing a trench coat and leather gloves?
oh, yeah, maybe that wasn't a good idea."
How about wearing a
Well,
trench coat, leather gloves, and glasses?
I don't know,
Blade?
but yeah. Well, I was just going with how I dress normally when it's cool out, but shockingly, I've never worn that fuck giraffe shirt there. It's just so I can antagonize Jeffrey. But like, anyway, we got off topic there. But
Very good.
like we were saying, like when I go there, and if I want to look in that, I mainly go for Power Ranger stuff anymore because I'm seeing a little more Power Ranger stuff come up here and there. It's like, what have you got? I mean, that's where I get most of my shit. But I'll look over in the Star Wars section, and it's just like, wow, like this should be an entire aisle, like both fucking sides should be just full of Star Wars, and it's just here's Star Wars in this little section of the aisle, like just about, I don't know, however long this is, like fucking
So
5
it's like
feet.
it's like how Halloween is in stores. Whenever they like have a little section like that of Halloween stuff, and then Christmas is everywhere
Oh,
else.
for fuck's sake!
Yeah.
Just go to Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, there you go.
All they sell is Christmas stuff.
Ugh.
So,
Oh, dude, that would be a fun prank one day to like work at Spirit Halloween and just like put all Christmas stuff in there. So
Oh my
yeah,
God.
it's,
in there.
Spirit of Christmas, right?
Oh Jesus! But even Marvel, like even their toys, they're not selling the good shit. But not that I care anymore. I mean, I don't see them even making the one that I think they should have made already, and that would be the Green Goblin's helmet. Like
Yeah.
Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of the few people who actually liked Willem Dafoe's Power Ranger Green Goblin helmet.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I love it too.
And it would need to make like noises, like do the Willem Dafoe laugh when you put it
Yeah.
on. That'd
Yeah,
be,
and
yeah.
a little button on the side that causes the eyes to go
Oh,
what they did with Black Panther.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is-
So, but yeah, I mean, guys, it's been a shame because I love the Marvel stuff. I had my issues with it, but I just seeing this shit going south, and when I got a better understanding of certain things in the comic book realm, particularly thanks to Eric July, because he's been big on this comic book stuff for a long time. Been listening to him a lot. That's when I started paying a lot more attention to the tokenization thing, and then I started seeing, the sort of movement against white people or white things, anything to do with white people. It's just been getting shit on, and I find it funny that a lot of the tokenizations that occur are when it's a white character and they change it to a different version. But every once in a while you'll have a few outliers. Like I'll give you an example. Doctor Strange, the ancient one, was Oriental and a man, and they changed the ancient one into a Anglo-Saxon woman.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
She was good in the role. I actually did enjoy her. I mean, even when you talk about the tokenization, I mean, there have been times where it might have happened before the modern shit happened. I mean, we got a black Harvey Dent in the '89 Batman film, but he was barely in the movie. And as much as I love Billy D. Williams, I'm just not sure he could play a bad guy. As much as I love him.
Yeah.
He could play a reluctant villain where, the deal's just getting worse all the time.
Right.
And Nick Fury, or Samuel Jackson, he's a great Nick Fury.
Oh, he was perfect.
Like
He's
as
perfect.
far as but and Nick Fury was white in the comics and stuff, but
as long, if you're gonna do this kind of shit, but your intent is not about pushing some kind of social message, and you just hey, this actor or actress is perfect for the role, you've got it. I mean, even with the Bond franchise, I mean, once we got to the 90s, well, now M's a woman.
Yeah.
And I thought, Judi Dench is the first thing that comes to mind when I hear M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I've been used to. It's just, maybe it's just kind of like a semi-purist of me that, you know, when I'm looking at these things, my first question is, okay, why are you changing the race or the gender of these characters?
It's a good question to ask, though.
It is.
Yeah,
The intention matters.
Absolutely, and this is what I would say, just out of fairness, that because all of this race and diversity shit wasn't so much of a focus back in the day as it is now, I would give more credence to things back in the day. But the thing is that a tokenization, by definition, is still a tokenization. Whether you like it or whether you thought it was good or not is irrelevant to the definition. If a tokenization is a tokenization, then a tokenization is a tokenization. The problem is that these days,
but is it a tokenization?
The thing is that these days, it's happening on purpose. It's being done on purpose. I would even chalk it up that, you know, despite Nick Fury and Samuel L. Jackson's performance being all good and shit, it was still done with intent. And it was very early on. But again, I noticed this, and this is just me, okay, but I'm sure this shit was happening a long time ago. This stuff was planned a long time ago, I'm sure. I just noticed this stuff in 2012, and it got progressively worse. You started seeing more of these things happening, and then when you criticize it, this is one of the biggest points of conjecture, is that when you criticize a tokenization, what happens? You're literally labeled as either a racist or a sexist or one of the many ists or phobes that they've come up with. Okay, and that's something that cannot be denied. Is that they call you one of these things because, oh my God, you don't like a black person in a lead role. It's like, motherfucker, Valkyrie, based off of Norse mythology. She ain't fucking black. She ain't mixed. She's fucking Anglo-Saxon. Norse mythology, okay? You want to talk about mythology, why don't you start tapping into other mythologies of other cultures? Like,
if you want to see a Valkyrie, go watch The Northman. That was
exactly.
Now,
okay.
I'm still waiting. I don't know if I've seen any reviews for it yet, but coming from these pathetic mainstream news sources or whatever, complaining about the Northman having too many white people in it because everyone
is that
was white.
Is that really a complaint?
I don't know. I
okay.
just wouldn't be surprised if it was.
I mean,
because
we live in a society where people said that you know, Godzilla versus Kong was a destruction point. There's too much destruction, harm on people and stuff like that, and it was
it's fucking Godzilla. Goddamn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now look. Okay, I'm a Godzilla fan. All right, so I can speak on this. I've been watching Godzilla for years. Okay, you know, when you go back to the original film. Okay, the original film was a disaster film that featured a very iconic monster, and it was a warning and a sort of a message being sent about the harm of nuclear weapons. It was a very serious film. It wasn't a cheesy monster movie. It was it took itself very seriously. Of course, as the years went on, it got more and more cheesy, got more monsters, but you know, it has its own sort of subculture. Obviously, it was very popular in Japan, and then it came over to America and the West, and you know, it's good. It's fun entertainment. And some of the movies still have that message. And, you know, if you're a Godzilla fan, you know, you never forget the original film. Okay. But when people are criticizing like Godzilla versus Kong or hell, King of the Monsters, you guys remember when King of the Monsters came out and how they were tearing that film apart saying, oh, it was a fucking terrible movie. You know, it's like
I didn't even see King of the Monsters. But
it's better than Godzilla versus Kong. I'll say that.
Okay. Well,
that's just me.
I know what the main message about the Godzilla from 1998 was. Very simple. That's a lot of fish.
Mm-hmm. And Roland Emmerich loves destroying modern day buildings.
And also that message that film critics are dicks. I mean, just look at the mayor in that, based off of Roger Ebert.
Yeah. So, but I think it's time. I mean, unless
you
guys get
it. You know, this is technically a good. I know you have an order for how you're doing this, but this is technically a good segue into the Thor trailer. Honestly.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about that. I was like, well, should we go into it now or should we go into it later? Fuck it. Let's go into it now.
I just want to say this. I look more intimidating holding this than fucking Natalie Portman.
Hey, don't diss my girl. But yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, though.
Hey, she did her best when it came to making bad dialogue work in the Star Wars prequels. She really did.
She did. She was
This is
giving
true.
it her all.
But I can't say that. I mean, first of all, female Thor, like, what the
She-Thor.
fuck? Yeah, she Thor. You know, I think that
It's Lady Thor. Okay,
so-
God.
So Nerdrotic, another YouTuber, okay, he called this new era of Marvel the MCU. Okay, yeah, because what have you got? You got fucking Black Widow. You have now Lady Thor. You had fucking Miss Marvel, which is a fucking joke of a character, a tokenization of a tokenization. That's the hilarious thing. Miss Marvel is a tokenization. They can't stop. Okay, we talked about this before about Miles Morales.
She always was Indian in the comics.
No, that's not what. Miss Marvel is based off of Captain Marvel, who is based off of Marvel. Tokenization of a tokenization.
Okay. So you're saying the comics are tokenized?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's where it starts. They didn't create Miss Marvel for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for the movies or TV shows or whatever. She was in the comics, but just because it's in the comics doesn't mean that it's like, oh, it's a spiritual, like it's accurate or whatever. They do fucking tokenization there all the time.
That's something I'm sick of hearing. It's like, you don't like She-Thor? Well, there is a comic based on that,
That's not the point, motherfucker.
Who fucking cares? That's like saying that Stephen King's miniseries of The Shining was better than the Kubrick movie simply because it was more like the book. That doesn't make it better.
That's a good point.
So I had this lovely.
But did his
version
win any Razzies? No.
That
was Kubrick's version.
Okay, first of all, it's Kubrick. Second of all, those Razzies were not deserved at all. Shelley Duvall fucking killed it being scared shitless, and Kubrick is he's a god.
Oh yeah, he is.
Okay, look. All right. This is the problem with the Lady Thor shit, okay? Thor is literally the name of the guy. It's not like just a superhero name. Thor is literally the guy's name. So the mere fact that you have a female Thor sounds fucking ridiculous. Okay? The concept sounds ridiculous, and when you really boil it down, break it down, analyze it, it's fucking retarded. Absolutely retarded.
Could they not think of another name? I mean, I could just say what name she can be given, and it rhymes with Thor, but I probably get in trouble for that because I'd be accused of slut shaming. I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with Thor. That's right.
Oh no.
I mean,
I'm an ass.
I mean, you could, right? I mean,
or that's the thing too, is that it's like it's fine if she's a Thor-like character, but she's like a separate female. She's like.
But look at this! Look at her fucking outfit. Okay,
it's like,
look at this shit: the fucking helmet, the fucking cape, the fucking arm bracelets, the goddamn outfit there, the fucking hammer. Mjolnir is back together again.
It was back together. Granted, it was back together in Endgame. But
it's because it was from the past.
Exactly.
The fucking thing was destroyed in the main timeline. The only reason why you had that fucker in the first place in Endgame was because they went back in time to get the fucker. Actually, they didn't go back in time to get the hammer specifically, but Fat Thor, a humiliation of the character, by the way.
He's called the Dude.
Yeah, the Dude. Okay, so you go back in time to get the fucking hammer. That's the only reason why it's there. So, but look at the picture here, guys. It's cracked. Okay, so it's that same fucker that got cracked by fucking Thor's bitch ass sister, who got killed by a giant fucking lava monster that destroyed Asgard. Asgard is where the people is, not the place. Let's not forget about the advancement of technology. Let's not forget about the fact that it was like a floating island in the middle of space. Asgard is where the people is. Oh, and by the way,
I actually did like that message that they were trying to present. That it's like, oh, Asgard is us. Like we are the
that's nice. That's nice in theory. It's just then we get new Asgard, which by the way, King Valkyrie, King Valkyrie, not Queen Valkyrie, but King Valkyrie.
More like
That's
Secretary of State Valkyrie.
Oh, by the way, she looks completely bored in the trailer. Like she looks like she's fucking bored. And I'm thinking to myself, you're supposed to be king of Asgard, and you're sitting there like it's a fucking chore to be there. You guys remember when Odin was king of Asgard? You remember Asgard, the OG Asgard, the fucking gold room with the beautiful throne. I mean, there was a certain aesthetic feel to it that was really appealing and really pleasant on the eyes. But now we got new Asgard, and everything just looks fucking boring, disgusting, and uninteresting.
And hey, fun fact! I heard some like one of the heads of Marvel or something said the reason they decided to kill Odin in Thor Ragnarok is they said he would have been able to wipe out Thanos like that, and they did not want someone with that kind of power. They wanted someone to they wanted an actual fight.
Well, yeah. You need stakes to make the story interesting, right?
He would have been able to just demolish Thanos like it was.
Well, theoretically, that's what Thor could have done if he would have gone for the head, right?
Yeah,
right.
You should have gone for the head, where you got a fucking axe in your chest, and you're still alive, by the way. Just a little nitpick on that. I actually really enjoyed Endgame. I thought that it was a really good build up.
Yeah.
And its use of the characters. I mean, I enjoyed the film, and I even enjoyed Endgame somewhat. But we knew exactly what the fuck they were gonna do when they had the whole fucking female heroes moment in Endgame. I'm like, yeah, you fucking pricks know exactly what you were doing. Yeah. But it was such a good fucking film. Yeah. Okay, look.
But hey, Captain Marvel getting the shit punched out of her, that made me happy.
She kind of deserved it,
Well, you know what made me happier was the fact that she was barely in the movie. There was always that.
And I can't help but think that they did that on purpose. I mean, I know that they said that they didn't do it on purpose. Like, they weren't trying to appeal to the fans that were criticizing Captain Marvel. It's like, I don't entirely believe that.
Even the cast members couldn't stand her. I mean, you ever see that one interview that had her, Chris Hemsworth, and Don Cheadle, and she was just like getting really obnoxious, like even elbowing them, and Don Cheadle just gets so fucking annoyed with her. Like,
and did you, to add on to that, did you see the one with Jeremy Renner?
Oh yeah.
And he looked completely fucking bored. He's just like
I can't stand this woman.
I don't blame him, really. But but they fucked his character up too, because we got fucking new.
But she's
Lady
selling
Hawkeye
she's selling,
too.
she's selling NFTs. If any of y'all are interested.
Who the fuck cares?
I don't even know what an NFT is. It's like
non-fungible tokens. It's some bullshit that people are talking about. Oh, it's hard for the environment. It's like, I never fully understood this shit. That's why I haven't really been commenting on it very much, because I don't even know what the fuckers are.
You know what else is? You know what else is good for the environment? Cow farts. You know why? Because the ozone layer is thinner. And then if a fucking meteor is going to come through, it's just going to burn up right in the atmosphere. That's why an asteroid is not going to destroy us. To make cow farts just fucking too much methane in the ozone, it just burns up the meteor before it can kill us all.
So we need more gas to save the world.
Yeah. Pull my finger. I had
all your
Wendy's
fingers?
for dinner.
All your fingers just.
Yep.
Okay. Female Thor. Right? Oh yeah, no. Okay, hold on. Let's put female Thor aside. I actually want to talk about how they are fucking up Thor's arc even more in this movie. Because look, here's the thing. I thought that Thor's transition throughout the entirety of the Marvel film, starting from his first film, where he was an arrogant brat who deserved to lose his powers, and then he got it back. Okay, where he's learning to be a better person, be a better son. And eventually getting up to that point where he's going to be king of Asgard, which is what he should have been. Which he technically was, right? For a little bit. He was technically king of Asgard for a while. And then they look. I thought that Thor: The Dark World was mediocre of a film. But, from Thor to Avengers to Thor: The Dark World, and then more Avengers movies, and then to Thor: Ragnarok, even though I have my problems with Ragnarok, it still was able to sort of solidify Thor's character, and to show his growth, right? Yeah. And then we get to...
it has one of my favorite scenes in all the MCU in Thor Ragnarok is whenever he's talking to his dad. He's like, I can't do it. She's too powerful. I don't have my hammer. He's like, what are you, the god of hammers? And all this stuff. And he's like having that, like
That was a good piece of dialogue.
Deep intellectual conversation with him. And he's like teaches him how to use his power, like his real godlike power that isn't just reliant on a hammer and stuff, which is.
But that practically thrown out the fucking window, I guess, because you get to Endgame and he's just fat Thor, and he's just. I mean, they made him look like a fucking idiot. Okay.
I hated how they built up to that too, because like the way how it's like, oh, I don't know if you want to see him. I was expecting him to be like, yeah, very old, grizzled, kind of miserable, but no, it's just played for laughs.
He was the fucking butt of the joke.
They could have done something like
I was
really
I was very interested in what they in them exploring like a mental illness, depression type of persona with one of these characters. Like he's feeling a lot of depression because he didn't kill Thanos, and and he feels like it's his fault that pretty much half the universe is, dead, and so he's just kind of in a dark state and is very depressed. And I thought you could have taken that to so many cool places. Like you could have gotten really into something, and then. They kind of make depression into a joke.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like that. I was like, you're making mental illness into a joke, and that's not.
They were making Thor have fucking panic attacks, and I'm just sitting there thinking, what the fuck are you doing?
I mean, I'll give Hemsworth credit. He is good when it comes to comedic chops, but this is where you gotta just pump the brakes. Because I think he could do well dramatically if given a good script. But being Marvel, they wanted to play it safe and just have fun with it. And that's just something you don't do.
Yeah.
Like,
and
the line must be drawn.
The panic attacks didn't really bother me because that still shows that's them showing hey, he's human. He has anxiety. He has anxiety. He has depression.
The problem is they played it for a laugh. That
was my issue. Like him having panic attacks in general isn't a problem for me. It's just the way that they played it out as jokes.
I think that them handling his depression could have been handled a hell of a lot better. But the trailer is talking about him, having this sort of self-discovery journey. I'm thinking to myself, didn't he already have that shit?
It's a complete reset. But
it's funny you say that. A complete reset. It's funny you say that because you're seeing all these tokenizations of these characters, and that's what it is. They're remaking all the classic characters that we grew up with into these fucking disgusting versions, these different versions that's supposed to be all new, all better Marvel, right? The fucking Marvel comics. They made X-23 the new Wolverine.
Yeah.
Which she should never have been. I don't care that she was a fucking clone of Wolverine. You could have taken her character in a completely different direction, but you decided to make her the new Wolverine in the comics. She's not Wolverine. She's not.
No, not quite.
Watch when Multiverse of Madness pops up. Everyone's all excited to see Wolverine, and then instead they get an X-23 that pops out, and it says, "Oh, but this is Wolverine, guys."
They'll do it.
And then it's just
I can honestly just see the whole crowd just going boo for that. But there's something that just came up while we were talking about how Marvel likes to play too much for laughs, and I think it's had a pretty bad effect on the audience themselves. They don't know when to take something seriously. Like, for example, I loved Spider-Man No Way Home. I did. And one of my favorite moments, or favorite just aspects of the movie itself, was Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man getting to redeem himself for his failure to save Gwen when he saves tokenized MJ. When he saves her, he has this moment where he feels a bit like he's getting emotional there, and people were laughing. It's like, what's funny about this?
Wait, really? People were laughing?
Really?
Yeah.
My theater wasn't laughing.
Yeah, my theater was laughing when that happened. Why are you laughing at a part where he got to redeem himself by saving his counterpart's girlfriend as a way of redeeming himself for his failure to save his own? That was a great arc for his character.
$5 says that that they didn't watch the Amazing Spider-Man 2, so they wouldn't fucking understand it.
It's possible. I mean,
that's
it went in one ear and out the other. I mean, it's not my favorite Spider-Man movie, but I will say this about No Way Home: as far as the Spider-Men go, I think Garfield was the best utilized.
Yeah,
and I don't think, and I mean, it's not Marvel proper, but like we mentioned, Amazing Spider-Man, it's a Marvel property, but it's Sony. And it's but Amazing Spider-Man 2, like that's something where it's like, oh my god, it really handled that subject really well. Just
just in a really messy movie, though.
It was it was just but it was that ending was really good. It's just the rest of the movie was good.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
But so Thor is going on this journey of self-discovery again. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Because me personally, I mean,
it's stupid. Like, how do we go through this again?
I mean, I guess because like
it's lack of creativity.
It is lack of creativity, but they're also trying. I guess he's trying to rebound from his depression from Endgame or something like that. Maybe that's what they're trying to go for. He's trying to rebound from that and try to become better after messing up, and
I guess,
and causing the whole world to practically half the world to die. I guess he's like wanting to try to get better from that. I don't know.
I suppose, but still, it just seems redundant to say the least. If we're on his fourth movie, or fucking seventh, if you want to include the Avengers movies, and it's just like you're on another journey of self-discovery. I mean, yeah, we all develop as individuals, but as far as storytelling goes, it's just why. But there was something else from that trailer that I wanted to touch on because I've seen too many articles talking about it, and it was the supposed homoerotic implications of that scene where he's staring Star-Lord in the eyes. It's just like, okay, why are you drawing this conclusion? I'll admit, when I saw that scene, I chuckled a bit because the look on Hemsworth's face is actually funny as hell. Like I said, he's got good comedic chops, but why are we still trying to push this whole, maybe they could be a good representation for the LG? Shut up.
Well, we know Chris Pratt's he doesn't. His views on the LGBT are not.
You can create your own series.
Hollywood.
I mean, you remember how there's the show with Chris Rock called "Everybody Hates Chris"?
Yeah.
Well, here's the new one. The Left Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Like, the left hates Chris Pratt because he's a Christian.
He goes to an anti-gay church, which I'm like, whenever
Shut the fuck up, Ellen.
When I heard like Elliot Page now is what it is.
That's disgusting, by the way.
But it's just like
it's fucking disgusting.
It's just like, yeah. But Elliot Page is all like saying, "Oh, cancel Chris Pratt because he goes to an anti-gay church." I literally sat there. I was like, "Wait, there's gay churches?" Like I had no idea.
Oh, there is.
I was like, that was the first time I ever learned. I was like, that was the first time I ever learned. I was like,
but seriously, I've seen articles about it. I've seen there are churches that are like they have the whole rainbow flag and everything. It's it's funny as hell to see.
There is one in my hometown that actually has the walkway painted like that. I don't know what it's like in the States, but if you see one in Canada that's called the United Church, that's usually the one you might call the all-inclusive church.
Ah, of course.
Yeah.
But oh god, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Damn. I had something funny I was gonna say. Elliot Page. You know, it's funny because I remember Ellen Page from the fucking X-Men movies. You know, Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat. And it's like, I thought she was kind of hot. Just a little bit. And then now got her boobs cut off and short haircut. And it's like, what happened? Did your balls drop off?
Hey, you want to hear something really funny? There was this movie that when she was still Ellen was in where she was a lesbian with Kate Mara. Now, if you went onto any site where, if you go onto any site that has that scene, just look at the comments. And no, I'm not saying jerk off. But if you want to go to a porn site, just read the comments on that scene. Because people are saying shit like, does this even count as a lesbian scene anymore? Or, well, wow, she's got nice tits for a guy.
Oh,
not anymore because they're just.
I know.
You know, right? But you know what? There is something. There is something that I do want to.
that was me. That was me during the sex scene in The Last of Us Part 2. Wow, she's got nice tits for a guy.
There is something that I do want to touch on, because I think it's important to sort of define these things. And this is sort of something I wanted to touch on after I watched the videos that you sent me, Danner, about what's his face, Quantum
TV.
Okay, something that the Act Man was talking about, and you know, it's not really throwing shade at him. This is just a term that I keep hearing a lot. You know, if someone's an asshole, somebody's an asshole. But you know how I am with these homophobia terms or transphobic, all this phobic shit. It's I always cringe at it just because it's so fucking stupid to even hear people talk about it.
It's
anymore.
overused, to say the least.
You know, the thing is that just because, let's say, you have someone that doesn't agree with the lifestyle of the LGBT community, that doesn't make you homophobic.
No.
Okay? Because when you say homophobic, that means you have a fear of it, an irrational fear. Okay?
I want to bring this up, too, because, I mean, if you saw the pictures of me at the convention, I ran into an old friend of mine who I went to school with who does identify as non-binary. And you know what I did? I didn't draw attention to it. It's just, we're human beings here. I'll let you be you. You know what? There's a word for that. It's called tolerance. Just don't draw attention to it.
It's like,
don't make that the butt end of your argument.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Just really quick, I see Emily's in the chat. Hello, Emily. How you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Be safe at work.
Hello, Emily.
So, the thing is that you do not have to agree with somebody's lifestyle in order to have the belief or hold the view that, okay, you're a human being, you have a right to do whatever the fuck you want. I, as another human being, do not have to agree and be, in a way, okay with what you do, as long as we both acknowledge that you have a right to exist just as much as I do. You do what you do, I do what I do, and I don't have to agree with what you do, and you don't have to agree with what I do, okay? But we can at least have some common ground where it's like, okay, we're not hurting each other. You're not doing anything that's hurting me. I'm not doing anything that's hurting you. We're fine. I don't have to agree with your lifestyle. You don't need my vote to make you feel legitimate. Like that's the thing that's happening with this, with the Florida bill. Okay, that these fucking idiots, they are trying to use children to legitimize their own existence, which is absolutely disgusting. One, because you don't use children for this sexual bullshit. Okay, your sexual orientation, how you identify, that's your fucking business as an adult. Leave the fucking kids out of it. The second thing is that when you actually read the bill, okay, nowhere does it specifically say any kind of sexual orientation. It says sexual topics in general.
Exactly.
That's something that is very, very important, because when you have these people that feel like their lifestyle is under attack, that is telling you a lot. When it doesn't mention a specific sexual orientation, they get all nervous, like, because they've been caught, essentially. Because if they've been having these conversations with these kids without the parents even knowing about it, that's pretty fucking sadistic and evil, in my book.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It should be illegal, if you ask me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but you see, they're trying to legitimize it though. I literally saw a TED talk where this woman is advocating for the acceptance of pedophiles. She's actually saying to the crowd that you should accept pedophilia as a legitimate form of sexual orientation. I'm going to find the video. I'm going to find the video.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm just
okay. I might need my fuel for this one. Excuse me.
She was talking about like how like they're humans too, and they need to have sexual orientation, and it was dumb BS. And no shooting the shot out. That was.
I'm gonna play it because this needs to be shown. This needs to be shown, just because we need to understand. And look, this is just one person, and this TED Talk was from a few years ago. With that said, this has been something that's been going on for a long time now. If you want to go into some conspiracy talk, a lot of this stuff has been fucking happening. And the problem is that they're so bold about this shit now. That's the really disgusting thing. That they're so bold about these things that used to be taboo, if you want to call it that. Although I wouldn't call pedophilia even taboo at this point. It's like it's just fucking evil. If you're trying to have sexual relations with a child, you need to go. Okay.
Well, something else I just wanted to bring up real quick before you get to it is like how they are trying to like pass this bill so you're not teaching kids about all this sexual preferences and shit or whatever. And you got fucking Jen Psaki there who's getting all emotional that, oh, they don't want us to be doing that. It's like, no! Again, it goes back to the old saying, let kids be kids.
Absolutely.
Because that's the thing about kids is their innocence.
Exactly.
And they're trying to rob the fucking innocence, okay? That's what's going on here. Because there's a certain vulnerability about children. And you have some really sadistic fuckheads that prey on innocence and vulnerability. They thrive in it, okay?
Yeah.
And so when you have these people that are so afraid that, oh my God, my sexual orientation's under attack, it's like, motherfucker, you have governments that fly your bullshit flag outside of their embassies. I don't want to fucking hear it. You're not fucking oppressed. You literally have people that support you. You have corporations that support you.
You have an entire month dedicated to you.
And hey, you want to go to pop culture? You want to go to pop culture? You go to a few of these streaming services. They have an entire sub-genre for dedicated solely to LGBT films. Yeah. I mean, that's just one minor example among the many others. With that said, it still proves our point that your fucking ass is not oppressed like you think you are.
No.
Okay, are you ready to want to... Are you ready?
I wish I had fuel on me like Danner. He is right.
Well, I'm not ready, but yeah, I'll just have this.
Now, look, we're not going to watch all of it because this is a 7-minute video, and I'm not going to listen to this bullshit for 7 minutes. But I'm just going to play enough to drive the point home.
I want to quickly summarize where we are at the moment. According to current research, pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation, just like, for example, heterosexuality. No one chooses to be a pedophile.
Now,
yes,
now here's the thing. Now, here's the thing. All right, this is something that I really need to drive home. Like, and some people might find this to be controversial. I don't really give a shit at this point. But we need to stop acting like heterosexuality isn't the default here. You just look at biology, you look at how animals, for example, or any kind of biological organism acts, okay? One of the biological imperatives of a species is to prolong its existence. And one of those aspects of prolonging one's existence is to procreate, okay? The truth of the matter is that a species cannot thrive if you have two of the same gender or sex in an area. Two men cannot create a baby. I don't care what these fuckers on the internet or any but woman. Only a man can impregnate a woman, or the biological aspects of a man can only impregnate the biological aspects of a woman. Without men, you can't have women. Without women, you can't have men. Exactly. You need the two opposites to make a baby. To procreate, to extend the bloodline, to continue the species. This is so fucking easy to understand, but you want to fucking complicate it.
Real quick, my friend, he posted this to his story. This is Netflix has been dying out lately. They lost
Which is hilarious.
200,000 subscribers. You guys heard about that. Well, now, and he says, and people wonder why Netflix is failing. Now Netflix is going to fail more because of a series they're making. That's releasing soon if it hasn't already called He's Expecting.
Yeah.
You guys haven't heard about that? Yeah.
And then, just as a quick little side note, it's also the demasculinizing, if that's even a word. Basically, you're taking out the masculinity of a man, which, by the way, if you want to conquer a nation, you weaken the strongest fighting force, which would be the men. I'm not saying that women can't fight too. It's just from a biological standpoint, men are built bigger. They can endure more in certain cases. And you weaken the men of a nation or a country, and then you're going to be able to easily conquer because, you don't have a fighting force. And which is funny because, we're accepting a lot more of the transgenders in the military, right? A lot of these people are on hormone blockers, estrogen. Okay, our military, the U.S.
UFC,
military,
the
U.S. military is fucking weakened.
Yeah.
Okay. If we were to get into a war, I would say that we probably wouldn't win by manpower because there's not many men left in there. So yeah, okay.
What about the women military with the men who identify as women, like in the swim team?
It's fucking pathetic, dude.
Oh my God.
You're right.
No one can cease being one. The difference between pedophilia and other sexual orientations is that living out this sexual orientation will end in a disaster.
Okay, I didn't expect that. Let's see.
We are responsible for our actions, and we must make a decision. It is our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles.
I know exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Sexuality, and who, unlike most of us, will never be able to live it out freely if they want to lead an upright life. We should accept that pedophilia is a sexual preference, a thought, a feeling, and not an act.
Yes. Danner, hand it to me. I need some.
I wish I could.
Oh, damn it.
Hey, you know what we call these fuck. One of my dad's drinking buddies, you know what we call this? The COVID shot.
Now
he gets a dispenser of Jaeger. He's got a dispenser. He's got a Jaeger dispenser in his freezer. Just here's your COVID shot. But yeah.
The crazy thing is that you have a lot of people that believe this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's an overwhelming number in the population, but the
Yeah,
problem is that
I would say
there's
it's still
enough.
a minority, but it's
enough.
It's on the uprise.
Oh,
Like you hear about what some of these teachers who are teaching young children, by the way, how they're trying to call themselves. This is just such a fucking retarded term. MAPS, meaning minor attracted person.
Yeah.
You're a goddamn creep. That's all you are.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You guys have seen The Punisher, right? The Netflix series.
I haven't. No.
There was a part where he shot a pedophile point blank with a shotgun. But before then he beat the ever living shit out of one. And so
it's like a natural response.
And apparently there was one person I read about online that said oh wow, he's against people and their sexual preferences because he beat the ever living shit out of a pedophile and then shot him
there
point blank with a shotgun.
Is a reason that societal standards exist. And a lot of it is to protect the young and vulnerable. This is why this kind of shit, like pushing your sex onto children, is frowned upon in most society.
Now,
don't try and say, "Oh, we're not oppressing you because we don't want you touching our children." Fuck off.
And again, notice that the majority of people that are actually complaining about this bill in Florida are people from the LGBT community, and I can't help but wonder why. You don't hear a lot of a lot of heterosexual people talking about it too much. I just find it very interesting that a lot of where this shit is coming from the LGBT community, and it says a lot. I'm not saying that everybody in the community is a pedophile.
No.
I'm just saying that if you're trying to use a child to legitimize your own existence, you're fucking pathetic.
Well, with the whole rise of how the LGBT stuff has become so mainstream, I really do see the problem where the worst kinds of people on this planet are using that as their way to try and normalize their disgusting fucking fetishes, so they can try and normalize it. They just, I'm just going to hang on your ankle, just string me along here, and can I work my way up there to push my shit on everyone else?
You give them an inch, they take a mile.
Exactly. 1,000 miles. Okay, I'm going to put this back in the freezer. I don't need it anymore. I don't want it to get warm.
That's what she said.
That's gross. But I mean, somebody can really go crazy thinking about some of this shit for too long, because to understand that there are people in this world that, like, right now there's shit happening. It's just it's a shame, and it's disgusting that it's just transpiring the way it is. A lot of stress. I try my best not to think about it too much, because you think about it too much, then it's just like you want to start going out and doing something, but
and then what's the point of living?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll tell you what the point of living is. It's to enjoy the time that you have here, to enjoy good movies when they come out, have fun with your family, with your friends, and to take out evil when it comes at your door. And a lot of times you do it with a chainsaw and a sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Whoa, not shotgun. Boomstick.
Hey, there's a possibility. I'm not, because Sam Raimi owns rights to the character. There's a possibility that in a week, I know it's a Disney property, but we could see Ash return to the big screen. Just throwing that out there.
He's not going to be in Multiverse of Madness. I'm just going
to. It is. He is a Sam Raimi character.
But they'll have Bruce Campbell come in, but he'll be
in the movie. I guarantee it.
Yeah, at least for a cameo.
He'll probably be that French guy from Spider-Man 3.
In the bottom of the glass.
Because he said that he said, I'm playing a beloved character that's been loved for years, and I'm like, okay, he's probably going to play one of his old cameos,
or he'll be Coach Boomer from Sky High.
Yes,
that's classic. But yeah. So, are we ready to talk about this defecation trial?
No, Carter said he wanted to be here for that. Have you heard from him?
No, other than he just sent a message saying that, don't worry, I'll be there for that ass chewing on Amber.
Great.
But, I don't want to hold this on too long because you guys might have other things you got to do. I don't want to hold you guys up. So we're just going to go ahead and start talking about it. And if Carter gets in, then he gets in. If not, then, we'll catch him next time. But
we could probably go over it one more time when he's here.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah. So, Michael,
we go back to the same shit all the time anyways.
That's true.
Because it always comes back full circle. Like, where does it lead us? Right back to where we started.
Yep. Which can be good and bad, but in this case, I think it's a good thing because, being able to because, the thing is that whenever, like, I've said shit so many times on here. Like, I always talk about tokenization. I've said the definition.
And we're going to talk about, and we're going to be talking about more shit, literally.
Yeah. And the thing is that, it's sometimes, a lot of times, it's okay to repeat yourself on these things because it means that you're being consistent with what you're saying.
Exactly.
It's a good way to keep track of yourself. That, it's like, yeah, I'm repeating some of the same shit that I've said, but you know what? It means I'm being consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. And by repeating, no one can misinterpret your words because you keep on retracing what you're trying to say.
Oh, but they'll try. They will fucking try their hardest to do so. But you know what? Yeah. There is something I do want to touch on with this because this whole thing going on with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is really saying a lot about how men are treated these days because among the groups that are being targeted by these fucking brainlet idiots and morons and sadistic motherfuckers, it's not just white people, but the straight white man or men in general. Toxic masculinity. How many times have we all heard that term? Toxic masculinity.
More times than we fucking need.
And now we can.
If you're hearing that, go ahead.
Now we can finally bring up toxic femininity.
Yeah. But you can't do that because that's sexist. But wait a minute. Gender is a social construct. It can't be sexist because there is no sex. There is no gender. It's all just make believe.
I just want to clear something up first. First of all, I've said that many times on this show, but I just want to be clear. I'm being sarcastic when I say that. Even though I didn't sound sarcastic, I was, believe me. But talking about toxic masculinity, just hearing that term thrown around, if we're hearing that shit in a fucking shaving commercial, we have fucking plummeted as a society.
Oh, man.
My God. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The guy sees an attractive girl that he likes, and then his buddy's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's not go that far. It's like,
what? I've never seen that commercial. Oh, my God. Is that a real thing?
What?
Really?
I've never seen that commercial. I've not seen that. I've never seen it.
Just wait. Just give me a second.
Oh, God. You're going to play it?
Oh, yeah. Why not, man?
Okay. Well, I think after the show is over, I'll send you guys a link to a funny parody of it that I saw. Oh, God.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
You're going to get AIDS, syphilis, tardive dyskinesia.
Oh, boy.
Ekbom syndrome. You're going to get a lot just from watching this.
Oh, well. I mean, that's not that I already don't have all those things, just because, society has practically already given me that stuff.
Right.
Dude, I haven't seen this fucking ad in a long time, and just looking at it now, it's just like, what does this say? Gillette's, we believe the best men can be. Raises the best a man can be, not anymore. All right, everybody, here we go.
By the way, the dislike ratio was a lot higher before.
Oh yeah, but they deleted it because
it was like it was in the millions. All right, play this shit.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it? We can't hide from it.
What the?
It's been going on far too long.
Shaving commercial?
We can't laugh it off.
Why do I feel like I'm watching a commercial for the soap opera or something?
Making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something finally.
Okay, that right there. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Fathers don't say that. Mothers say that.
Boys will be boys. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Is roughhousing supposed to be fucking frowned upon now?
Or at that little boardroom meeting, like, okay, the boss interrupts the woman, say, "Well, I think she's really trying to say, oh, mansplaining, huh? Maybe her idea just sucked to begin with." But don't look into that. Just look at the gender stuff because it's a social construct.
Right, because boys will be boys, even though gender doesn't exist. So boys can't be boys because there's no such thing as boys. Fuck, what are we going to do? I can't be accurate anymore. I can't be consistent. Brain melting. Malfunction. Let's continue.
Change.
Allegations regarding sexual assault and
Okay, I just find it funny that they go to the Young Turks.
Yeah.
And this bitch
Anna Kasparian.
I call them the Young Turks. I call them the Young
They're
Turks.
not crazy at all.
And there will be no going back.
Wait for it.
Because we believe in the best in men.
Men need to hold other men accountable.
Smile, sweetie.
Come on.
To say the right thing. To act the right way.
Not cool. Not cool.
Okay. I got to point it out because because it's painfully obvious. Of course, it's the white guy who's objectifying the woman, and of course, here comes the the person of color who stops the cat.
Hey, bro,
of
not
course.
cool. Here, let's rewind that again. I don't think that Michael's had enough time to.
No. I've had time.
Men need to hold men accountable. It's like, motherfucker, aren't we already doing that?
Wow,
aren't we already doing it?
This is a smooth segue. Fuck.
Accountable.
Smile, sweetie. Who the fuck says that? Unless you're a fucking couple, right?
Yeah. That's what you say if you're a photographer.
This poor white guy. And this guy, he's like, come on. Dude,
not gonna lie, those two chicks are kind of hot though.
Look at their faces.
They're not. They're okay,
Look at their faces.
I don't
Look at
know.
their fucking faces, dude. They're like, what the fuck are we doing this goddamn commercial?
But still, age is always a concern. I'm always concerned. Like, are they of legal age? Because they do look 60.
You never know.
Hey, look at this douchebag with the camera. What the fuck is he doing here?
I don't know. This is like, I don't know. Maybe this is actually the 16 and pregnant crew just looking for someone to start documenting.
He's the perv. You know, you have your toxic masculinity. He's the perv that's shooting the girls, or like with the camera and trying to be.
To say the right thing.
Come on, son.
Come on, son.
Bruh.
To act.
Okay.
Act.
Look at this poor bastard. Look at this poor bastard. He's just like, oh, I see an attractive woman I like. You know, by the way, I don't know if this needs to be said, but I guess it has to. Men being attracted to women is completely and utterly fucking natural. It's something that naturally occurs, not only with humans, but with fucking animals too. All right? And attraction to the opposite sex is normal. It is natural. It is the way that all of us are here. Us on this panel tonight, everyone watching, everyone not watching, we're all here because a man and a woman or their biological components got together. That is the only way that this species is still around.
Yeah.
And if you can't accept that fact, then go live on Mars. Because I promise they'll take you there. The planet may be barren and lifeless, but they will take you there.
Hey, you'd fit right in.
Not cool, bro. Not cool.
Okay. How do we even know that that's what he's going to do? Like, you don't.
Hey,
you can't even interpret what he was going to do. Maybe he was going to say, "Oh, hey,
hey, you know what? You know what? Maybe he wasn't staring at the woman. Maybe he was staring at the ice cream truck passing by.
Yeah.
He's like, "Ooh, ice cream." He's like, "Hey, bro, not cool." It's like, "But I just wanted to get some ice cream."
Okay, this old guy. I'd be more worried about him considering who he kind of looks like.
Joe Biden?
He totally looks like Joe Biden.
Hey, look.
I'd be more concerned about this guy.
Hey, look where his eyes are going. You see that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right down.
Come on,
and then
man.
this guy. What the fuck are you doing here, bro? What are you
that now is the example of toxic masculinity. Not any of these other two.
Cool? Not cool?
Not cool. Not cool.
Already are. In ways big.
Look at
that face says it all right there.
What the fuck is even going on here? I mean, what's the context of this shit? Is this like the kid getting bullied? It's like, okay, you know what? You do realize that women can bully women too, right? What about toxic femininity? Where's that shit at, huh? It's like,
I did not think this would be a catalyst for our topic.
It is
Amazing.
very funny, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
Big
Yo, men.
and small.
I am strong.
What the?
But some is not enough.
That's not how we treat each other, okay?
Pause it.
What the fuck? What the?
Okay.
What?
Okay.
What?
First of all,
is going on?
They're just playing. There is nothing wrong with a couple of kids just playing wrestling. We did it all the time. We'd have pillow fights. We wrestled on our trampolines, like backyard wrestling. Okay, maybe not that extreme, but the way he breaks this up is so
This is
fucking.
how we treat each other.
It's so soy, and it is deconstructing masculinity where it is needed. Like, I don't know, if I had kids who were getting rough, a little too rough like this, I wouldn't be like, kids, that's not how we treat each other, okay? Like, so soft-spoken, so pathetic, you're not resolving anything. How about this? Kids, knock it off or you're not being fed.
It's
there
disgusting.
You go.
It's
Maybe
fucking stupid. Okay, this entire commercial is retarded. That's why it was ratioed to hell. But you can't
exactly
dislike ratio because YouTube knew that was a big indicator as to whether or not something was quality or shit.
And you know what the cherry on top of the shit sundae is? They lost $8 million or so because of this. Or was it 80 million? I don't know. But Gillette lost a shitload of money because of this. More people decide, okay, fuck Gillette. I'm going to Dollar Shave Club.
And, the best a man can get. My ass.
I also like how we keep on talking about shit as well. That's another catalyst for our topic coming out.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. Thanks, Gillette. It is the best a man can get. Yeah.
Because the boys.
Did those kids mess up your short hair? Because that looks like that's all they were doing.
This kid's like, I'm shitting my pants, Daddy. I just want my ice cream. I'm gonna fuck my thumb and go to bed. The fuck do I do?
This kid looks like he's so. This kid's like, my dad loves.
Why
this
would they
kid
even
more
have
than me?
Kids can't even shave. Why do they even have kids in the shaving commercial?
Because he sees dead people.
Oh my god!
Watching today.
Look at this guy. This kid's like, yeah, I'm in a Gillette commercial. I'm too young to play Gillette.
I have no facial hair. Smooth as a baby's behind. All these. Oh my god! I've not seen I've not seen one person with facial hair in this whole commercial. I don't think.
No.
Wait.
Maybe except for that black guy that said "boys will be boys." I think that was it.
Something like that.
The men of tomorrow.
Oh God.
Ginger. Ginger.
Not only does this kid not have a beard, he doesn't have a soul. Damn. Sorry.
This kid, his fucking balls haven't even dropped.
The best a man can get on top of the kid's face. What the hell?
Bullshit.
Okay. I didn't even think of that until you pointed that out. Ew.
It's only by challenging ourselves to do more.
The plot thickens.
That we can get closer to our best.
Masculinity is necessary, you dumbasses.
We are taking action at thebestmencanbe.org.
Oh my god.
Sign me up.
Talk about pissing in the wind. I can't believe we're talking about this. It's good though.
Dalek and Woman Down.
This is from fucking 3 years ago.
Join us.
No.
Join us.
I'll never join you.
We need to watch Six Packs Success and
Okay, look at
Solitude.
this. Okay. This fucker has no beard. This fucker has no beard. This fucker barely has a beard.
Yeah.
Wow. Though of course those fuckers have no beard.
Nope.
Hey, where's her beard at? Okay,
yeah. Where are these? There's no beard.
No beard. Look, barely a beard. This fucker has like peach fuzz.
The three of us can replace anyone in this commercial.
Okay, look, this guy has a beard. This guy has some fucking mutton chops. This fucker has no beard. No beard. The majority of dudes in this commercial, no beard.
Hey.
Wow.
And hey, I find that offensive that everyone in this has no beard. I mean, one of our greatest, bestest friends had to depart with his own.
Hashtag good beard hunting.
Yeah.
Oh. Bacon, if you're watching this, I am positive your beard will once again rise from the ashes like a phoenix.
It will.
Just as long as he doesn't use Gillette, because that's not the best a man can get.
No.
I am never buying Gillette products. I mean, I don't buy them anyways because
Okay.
I haven't shaved in.
I haven't
Again.
naked shaved in a long time.
Yeah, me neither.
Look at this fucking shit right here. Where are the beards?
Hey,
Where are they?
Yeah.
Hey, that chubby one kind of looks like Dudley from Harry Potter.
Oh my god.
You're a no bearded wizard. Dudley.
You're not wrong.
Fucking muggles. All right,
Hey,
what were we
hey,
talking
not
about?
cool, bro. Not cool, bro.
Not cool. Not cool.
Oh,
Not cool.
that's barely a beard. The
Barely.
black guy has somewhat of a beard. Oh my god.
Anyway, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Amber Turd.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
I
have
the memes.
I have a good question though. Do you think that Amber Heard could get the best that a man can get?
No, because she lost a good man because of her dumb actions. That dumb bitch.
So this is from this garbage news site, NBC. But the defamation case brought by Johnny Depp against his ex-wife Amber Heard is ongoing and will likely take weeks to conclude. But what preceded the case? Depp and Heard's relationship began more than a decade ago and eventually devolved into what appears to have been a toxic marriage. The couple split in 2016, but have continued to battle in court over an op-ed Heard wrote for the Washington Post in 2018, another garbage site, in which she describes surviving domestic violence without mentioning Depp by name. And Depp is suing for $50 million in damages and denies ever being physically violent with Heard. Heard is countersuing for $100 million. You see, because he got to go up times 2, right?
Jeez.
And claims she was only ever violent with Depp in self-defense or defense of her younger sister. All right, Michael, go ahead and take us away. Anything you want to talk about in particular with this?
So yeah, pretty much.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you guys.
So pretty much what happened is that they went to the UK court, and that's, UK laws are dumb as shit. So that's when Amber Heard won over there, and then this whole news article came out calling Johnny Depp a wife beater. And so he said, I don't want my sons, my sons are literally going to school, and they're saying, hey, your dad's a wife beater. He's like, I want to live with that lie and stuff like that. And so he went and sued his ex-wife for, like you said, $50 million. They've been on trial. It's been an intense thing. It's been ongoing. Just, really close to me, like 3 hours away. And so, yeah, it's been wild, but I think it's very clear to see who is in the wrong and who's in the right. And I'm not justifying everything Johnny Depp. Like, as evidence have been coming out, the only evidence I can see against Johnny Depp is that he did have substance abuse. He did have a lot of drug issues, a lot of alcoholism. That was his biggest issue. But he never, from any of the evidence that have come out, has ever hit a woman, has ever hit an Amber Heard. And this is something that is very, like you said, it's very important for men. And this is like, we all know that women can be abused. We all know all that stuff. But it's like, this is a rare occasion when a man in the media is like stepping up and sharing his story of abuse. And as someone, I'm not going to get into it, but as someone who's been abused, other people who've been abused, like it's very inspirational to see from a man's perspective, him being able to step up and say, hey, and there's even audio tape of Amber Heard saying no one's going to believe you because you're a white man. That's what was playing on, that was one of the things that played on there, saying no one's going to believe you because you're a man. And if she wins this, then you got to really consider that and take that into consideration that we live in a society where automatically believe all women because
well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because this is what's happened, guys. Okay, I've already said this earlier. I'll say it again. That we've allowed these things that we used to laugh at a few years ago, we've let it grow. And because it's grown so much, it's infested so much of our society. Obviously, the pop culture element is just one aspect. And the thing is that we see this happening in pop culture all the time, where either the men are always trash or they are demasculinized. You know, their masculinity is gone. They're made to be a joke. One of the biggest offenses, I would say, is Chris Hemsworth in Wokebusters 2016, where literally the character was a complete moron. Like, to the point where Jar Jar Binks was smarter than he was.
Wow.
And to think how is that even possible? Well, you just ask Ghostbusters 2016. The character of Kevin was a complete fucking moron. Like, to the point where your stupidity doesn't... The term stupidity cannot even describe what the fuck you're doing. That's how bad it was. And there are other instances where the man is just treated as dog shit. And it's happening more recently because there's an attack on men. There's an attack on masculinity. And what this case and what this trial is showing is that our society has allowed itself to go into this realm of decadence, and it's corrupt on so many levels. And to the point where men, they can't... You talk about how women couldn't come out and say that they were abused out of fear of being shamed or something. It's starting to become the opposite now, because we always see men as just being infallible in a way, to the sense that, well, a woman can't abuse a man. That's not a thing. But we've seen plenty of instances where this has happened. The problem is that the media, because they're so corrupt and because they are looking at these kinds of situations with one viewpoint, okay, you're never going to hear about it. You're never going to hear on a national TV that a man was abused by a woman. You're not going to hear en masse, just like you're not going to usually hear about black on black crime. You'll hear about white on black crime, but you'll never hear CNN or Fox News or any of these other major fucking corporations talk about when it's the same minority group against the same minority group.
And I just wanted to bring this up with that bullshit notion that men can't be abused. Well, you know what the biggest, worst abuse a man can be given by a woman is the mere accusation of rape, even if whether it's true or not. Like,
you're blacklisted.
Just the mere accusation, even after the man is proven innocent, is still enough to ruin a man's life. And yes, that is abuse. I mean, and like you were bringing up, this is the kind of shit we used to laugh at, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a Simpsons episode that's just like that, where Homer gets accused of sexual harassment because that fucking piece of gummy that he really wanted was stuck to the babysitter's ass, and he was getting it because that's what he wanted. And it turns into this big fucking media circus where he is just labeled as a terrible person. And it's funny then, but you watch it now, it's like, Jesus Christ, there's a reason why people fear that the writers of The Simpsons are like some kind of prophets. It's like a warning.
It is. They're really good, and and you bring up like the feminist movement. We'll look at it like empowering when a woman hits a man, and then but it's like when a man hits a woman, that's like, oh, God forbid. And trust me, I'm on the latter side. If a man hits a woman, lock his ass in jail. I'm that way, but I'm also that way. If a woman hits a man, I don't think any gender should just be hitting each other. I'm like, if you're no matter what gender you are, you should not be hitting anyone. And Johnny Depp's whole thing, the reason why he's doing this is, and it is for a very accurate reason. Like you talked about how it can ruin a man's life, simple accusations of rape. Well, with this, he is going on trial saying Amber Heard has gotten to have a career. She's been in Aquaman. She's been in, all these DC movies and such like that. I have literally lost my career over what is a lie. I got kicked out of the new Harry Potter film. I was fired off of the new Pirates of the Caribbean that was going to come out. And now he swears never to come back to that franchise because he's like, I got really
smart
kicked
move.
off it. He's like, I'm never coming back. So
look, that's again, this is yet another aspect of why these fucking corporations need to fucking die. Okay, because Warner Brothers has been on a real shit train recently. Obviously, with the Amber Heard situation, that's a big thing. But let's not forget about our dear friend Ezra Miller.
Oh God!
Oh, now, and can I just say real quick too? Like, I find it so funny that Fantastic Beasts 3, it was supposed to come out April 15th, but they pushed it to April 6th because I think they realized that the this whole trial bullshit was happening with Johnny Depp, and they were like, "Oh, we can't release it around that time. We still want to make money," and it still ended up being the lowest grossing Harry Potter film of all time.
It's absolutely pathetic because you have Warner Brothers that's just they're just as bad as Marvel in many ways. How the fuck are you going to keep Ezra Miller employed after he's already been arrested several times, and then now with Amber Heard, and then you're firing Johnny Depp? It's just fucking pathetic.
You need to say they because Ezra Miller's non-binary.
Yeah, well, fuck him.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but
terrible person, but just get the pronouns correctly. Oh, fuck off.
That was
fuck
my
the pronouns, right?
Like, okay, like I made a good excuse once. Whenever I was talking about Ezra Miller, they were saying like, get the pronouns right. I was like, you know what? He's such a dickhole that I'm not going to get his pronouns right. How about that?
Yeah,
he doesn't deserve to have them right. There you go.
Yeah.
So
okay,
but my big issue though is that like they. It's up to Warner Brothers. They're a company. Whether they want to fire people, whether they want to keep a person on, whatever, that's their business. But the fact that they didn't even bring up when Ezra Miller was on camera choking a woman, they never even brought that up.
It's hilarious, isn't it?
But they immediately fired Johnny Depp as soon as
accused,
Amber Heard was accusing him of something.
No actual proof, just accusations. He gets fired. Ezra Miller gets to keep his fucking job.
When there was proof, like an actual video camera.
They don't give a shit. They don't care. Okay, they're fucking hypocritical. They don't give a shit.
And I heard a good theory that honestly that they said maybe it's because Johnny Depp's a straight man and Ezra Miller's gay.
Oh, is he gay?
Maybe that's part of the reason why. They're like,
the narrative.
Maybe they're thinking, well, we can't, do that to a gay person.
We can't fire a gay man. We'll get accused of homophobia. It's like
a gay man who's beaten on women.
Wow.
Who is also uttering a death threat.
But you see, there you go. It's what you call the victim Olympics.
Yeah.
The victim Olympics. Okay, so who's more of a victim? A straight white woman or a gay white man? In the victim Olympics, it'll be the gay white man because he's gay and non-binary.
Yeah.
But I know I bring this up, but Wolfman, you've seen Secret Window, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I have. Oh yeah, that Johnny Depp movie.
I actually like that movie.
Holy shit, you're back.
I'm back. I really like that movie. It's been years since I saw it. I think it came out in 2009 or something, right?
Yeah.
2004. But Caleb, I don't think you've seen it.
I'm having a huge Johnny Depp marathon ever since this thing.
Well, if you've seen Secret Window, you know how it starts and ends.
Oh yeah.
I think at this point, life should imitate art a little.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point. But yeah,
I don't care. I mean, people can think what they want if what I'm advocating for, but you know what? people get what they deserve if they're scummy like Amber Heard.
Yeah,
and even that petition has come up again, right? With the whole like get her out of the Aquaman movies. I mean,
4 million signatures. 4
wow,
million right now.
And all the Game of Thrones fans are just advocating for Emilia Clarke because remember what they did in that? Yeah, I know what they did. I never even watched the show, and I know what they did.
I
know
mean,
nothing,
hey,
Jon Snow.
she's a better actress than Amber Heard, so
But she also
Amber
played
Heard's not even that good.
Yeah.
No.
So the standard or the bar is not really high anyway.
Yeah, no. And
no, they gotta lower the bar to achieve equality.
And
right?
Amber Heard, you know, she's still has she's gonna have to take the stand during this trial at one point. And that's gonna be a shit show. I can just tell you right now.
Well, you know what? All she's got to do is start crying, and then people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, sweetheart!"
Oh, she's been doing. She has been doing that. Like literally, there's been like the tape that played saying like, "I didn't fucking deck you. I was hitting you," and all this stuff and all that stuff that happened. And you know that tape that released where she literally admitted to hitting Johnny Depp. She was like starting to have tears in her eyes, like, you know, so sad and stuff like that. And I was like,
you know, there's something that I do.
Crocodile tears.
There's something that I do want to mention really quick because I actually saw a meme about this on Twitter.
Hang on just a sec. I just wanted to bring up one more time because that Simpsons episode I just mentioned actually has this line of dialogue where a woman starts crying about Homer Simpson, even though she even says, I've never met Homer Simpson, but she starts crying, and the interviewer even says, it's okay. Your tears say more than any real evidence ever could.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
That is what could happen. That's the scary part.
So there's an aspect of this that I do want to touch on just really quick because I feel that it's something that, and this is something that I sort of said when we were talking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock situation. That you know, because there's another court trial that I believe is going on right now, and that's Ghislaine Maxwell, who you guys know about. She was with Jeffrey Epstein on the whole Epstein thing. Now that's a very big situation, and the funny thing is that there's not really any news outlets talking about it. It's been about this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. And I'm not trying to take away from the seriousness of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. It's just when you really boil it down and you get past all the political shit, it really is just two Hollywood actors going at it. And, you know,
it's all about the ratings.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
There's no focus going on with the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, where you literally were dealing with pedophiles, and Hollywood is full of pedophiles. And I just find it very convenient that you have this situation happening with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. At the same time, you have the Ghislaine Maxwell case going on, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. So that's just something I wanted to mention. I wanted to put that out there because I wanted to remind people that it's still out there.
Yeah, but not to discredit any of this, because male abuse is not something to discredit. So.
No, I'm not. It's just I just find it very convenient. And you know, I just going back really quick. If the Will Smith situation was real and it wasn't staged, I would say that Will Smith was metaphorically sacrificed because you know a lot of shit's been happening with him in his career recently. You know, people were dropping him like flies. I would say that they utilized him, they embarrassed him. And all because of fucking his wife, or well, soon to be ex-wife, I guess, whatever. But it's all circling around just this attack on men in general. And you know, we're laughing at that Gillette commercial because it's fucking retarded. With that said, it still is very telling about where the perspective is at in regards for men. And this is something that we've been seeing for years. And you know, thank God that there are a lot more people waking up to this now. Because I mean, a lot of shit's been happening, and it's very important that this is happening too. Because male abuse is a real thing. You know, men being abused, even by other men. You know, you don't hear about that a lot either. But it's happening.
Oh yeah.
And even if the news doesn't fucking cover it, it's still there.
I mean, it might be just. Sorry, but I gotta bring this up. But statistically speaking, I do believe that men are more likely to get raped than women because there's more men in prison, and they're more likely to get raped in prison than a woman is just getting off a fucking subway or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually. I was
being
actually
swept under the rug.
I was actually literally just about to say that. I read some statistics that said that men actually have been like, if you look at statistics, I mean, it's not like a huge gap. It's not too far off, but
yeah,
men are more abused than women are because the thing is with a woman, they think, oh well, the man's strong, he can take it.
Exactly.
And so they
we as men are being brought up in this way where we're being told to man up, grow a pair. But
that's literally what she said on tape.
If we dare to express our feelings, then we're perceived as weak. Like that's a luxury we as men don't have. Like we want to express our emotions without being judged, but we also got to be tough when we need to be. That is why masculinity is important. The world needs it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we heard her going on like, and this is my Amber Heard impression. She's like, "Oh, grow the fuck up, Johnny. You're such a baby." Like on the actual like thing, as like while he was saying like, "You were hitting me. Don't tell me what I think a punch feels like." And she's like, making fun of him for
shit the bed, bitch.
Lying about for crying.
Like you got to be really fucking sadistic and like retarded, like literally retarded. You have to be fucking stupid to purposefully shit the bed just to get back at somebody. I mean, that's
and apparently she literally confessed during this trial. She confessed on tape that it was a prank. It was a prank. But it was a prank gone wrong, I guess.
It was a prank, bro.
Oh, cool, not cool, right? Jesus Christ! I just
did you guys see like how Johnny Depp was like talking about the situation? Like he was on trial and he was like, and he's already, because he's an introvert, he's not really a big like speaker type guy. He already does a lot of pauses when he speaks and all that stuff. But like his face when he was talking about this situation, he was like, it was on our bed, my side of the bed. He's like, I walk into the room and there's human fecal matter. It's just the way that he says it. He's just so like disturbed at having to, like, he doesn't even want to say it. He's just taking it
because he's acting.
It's like, yeah. He's like, I mean, but that's also like, it makes you wonder, like, is he actually acting? Because like, I know I wouldn't want to bring that up and just like, that's something on.
I mean, it's a very weird topic to discuss. It's like, yeah,
weird thing.
It's like,
discuss.
yeah, it's like you go to a bar with your buds, and you're like, yeah, last night I went to go lay down in bed, and as I was laying down, I saw this little brown thing just laying there on my pillow. I thought, what the fuck is that? It's like, oh yeah, maybe my cat just took a shit on my bed. No, it wasn't the cat. It was the
well, hell, it sure wasn't Mike Lindell from My Pillow. Holy shit!
But wait, there's more.
Apparently, she tried to blame it on the dogs too. And
blame it on the dog. Blame it on the bitch, right?
And he's like, I've cleaned up their mess, and it is not that size. And he's talking all about like how they're these like tiny little dogs, like something that can't even produce.
Because the shit is as big as the dog.
Like, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It would be some beautiful evidence is to show a dog sitting on his toilet to dispel the idea that the dog
isn't shitting on the bed; he's shitting in the toilet like a normal person would.
That's evidence, man.
Good dog.
Enter the evidence into this case.
Oh my god. Hold up. I want to see if I can. I want to see if I can play this for you guys. This is sort of how he. This was the experience he had trying to share that story. It's just
But you know what?
Oh yeah, I want to hear this.
I gotta say this though, that having your girl shit on your bed, it's the best that a man can get, right?
Okay, well, hey, listen, can I share
Jesus.
something off the cuff here about that since we're talking about the poop? So one night I'm with this girl and we're playing this fart game, right?
What the
fuck? The lights are out, man, and she's trying to get up and position herself to fart in my face. Well, she falls backwards out of the bed onto the floor and hits her tailbone. And here's the kicker. It's like a pun. It's like, this is what happens when you try to shit on somebody, you fall on your ass.
Oh my god.
And that's exactly what happened, man.
There you go.
Oh wow. All right. So yeah, this is the situation here. Let's see if I can do it.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It was a
Oh, he's like, he just can't even.
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed.
Look at her face. She's just
Was
cold.
human fecal matter.
It's just the way he's just looking like
So
that.
I understood why it wasn't a good time to go down there. My initial response to that was, I mean, I laughed. It was so outside. It was so bizarre.
Grotesque.
It was so grotesque.
What are the
that
odds?
made me laugh. So I did not go down there that day.
Mr. Depp, how was your mother's health during?
Yeah, that's pretty much his experience trying to share a story about his ex-wife.
It was a shitty moment.
Very
no shit.
Oh,
Puns, jokes, and memes, all of it. It's all just very
and
fruitful, relevant in these discussions. Because I mean, look, let's be honest here. I mean, how the fuck is it that you try and push this idea about toxic masculinity, and that there's no way in hell that a woman could be so vindictive and so vile like a man? You know, only a man would take a shit in the bed just to spite his wife, right? But then you have Amber Heard that does just that. But she's the victim because she's a woman, and because Johnny Depp is the man, and because the man up. You can take it, grow a pair, right? Oh, but wait a minute. You see, this is the funny thing. They can't remain consistent about this shit. Under one breath, they say toxic masculinity. When you tell a man to, man up, grow a pair, that's toxic masculinity. Oh, but when a man is the victim, then it's okay to say, grow a pair, you're a man, you can take it. But wait a minute, you just said toxic masculinity. So which is it?
Yeah.
What the fuck is it? Make up your fucking mind.
Hypocrisy.
Well, maybe. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Oh, I was just saying. I was just literally just gonna say. I was like, it doesn't matter what gender. No abuse from any side is okay.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And maybe when we were watching Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, it makes me wonder what happened to the bottle that he had. Instead of having whiskey, he had poopski.
Oh my god. But you know, the good news is watching this trial, like, you can tell how much the jury loves him. He's been on trial and he has been like, if the jury's just been like loving every second of him, because literally I find it funny. Her lawyer's name is Rottenborn, which is like perfect. But like her lawyer and like her attorney and all these stuff, like they are so dumb. Like it almost makes me wonder who's more stupid, her or her lawyers. Like I honestly don't know. Like if you look up like some of the stuff her lawyers did, like they are so dumb. Like he literally, you saw in just the clip that we played at the beginning, John Depp would just say, like, wouldn't even get to say a sentence. He'd be like, "Oh, hearsay, Your Honor," and it's like, what? And then at one point, one of her lawyers literally asked a question, and then he, to his own question, said, "Objection, hearsay." And the judge was like, "You literally, it was your question." He's like, I know, I messed up. I didn't mean to ask that question." I was like, "What?"
Oops.
And so it's like, they're all over the place. And there was one girl got like, there's this one psychologist who apparently diagnosed Amber Heard with a borderline personality disorder and like some other bipolar. It was a bipolar disorder, and she was diagnosing her on stage. And apparently, this psychologist went and gave like, she didn't take any shit, because this girl was like, "Well, isn't it true that?" She's like, "Nope, never said that. Nope, never did." It just kept on. This damn attorney was like trying to just say everything like she was right, and this psychologist was like, "You are completely making a fool of yourself right now." So it's just, man.
Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?
Yeah.
Hearsay, I guess.
This is so funny.
I know, I'm just sure it's often the truth of the matter asserted.
You got it.
Okay, all right, well then.
I'm learning. Ms. Heard, that
I'll move to strike this as hearsay, Your Honor.
disturbing. Yes, I looked at papers. Maybe they're hearsay papers. Read it out. Someone's article, but not from the man's mouth.
It's a pretty simple yes or no question, which is,
You'd like
other
it to be, sir.
others-
Nothing simple in this case.
Other-
October is 2 months before December. That's correct.
the document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
That's my signature indeed.
That is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
This is the document you signed, right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes.
And that was a document you signed in August of 2016. Correct?
Is that the same one that I signed 3 times before? Yes,
I want to make clear that you signed that December 2016, that date, correct?
Again.
Okay. So you were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there?
What a fucking
We have
joke.
a situation with Amber. So
Mr.
I
Depp,
doubled up
with
the,
respect, trying to respect the court's time and place, and that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand. When
you
you
would
take 5
agree,
minutes to look for a
you would agree,
document,
you would agree that on Exhibit 500. 500? 500. Defense Exhibit 500.
I'd like to see who I lied to.
I just drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour anytime?
Cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine. Just gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
That's not right.
You did.
Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Did I read that right? Did I read that right?
Dude.
You continue to read them right, yes.
Right after you cut your finger off, that you, or right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. Right after you sustained an injury to your finger.
Which, by the way, she cut off his finger.
That you,
Yep.
right after you sustained an injury to your finger,
Bless you.
poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
Mega pint.
A mega pint.
Fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it.
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
The fuck?
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again?
Oh man.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ, dude. That's
That,
a fucking shit show.
Yeah,
love the use of the Wii music, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Her lawyers are like,
Wow, this is interesting. So we just lost a subscriber. Somebody
Oh,
doesn't
really?
like what we're talking about. We're down to
Well,
70 subscribers. Yay!
There are some a majority of people are Team Depp, which is good, but there are some people in there and it's like chat rooms and stuff I've talked to who are like going full Team Amber and all that stuff. And I've mentioned, I was like, why are you cheering for a girl who literally on tape admits to hitting her ex-husband? And then she's like, "What? Did you just misunderstood it?" And I'm like,
Well, you know why? You want to know why? Because a man getting hit by a woman is the best that a man can get.
A man getting a vodka bottle thrown at his finger and his tip of his finger getting severed off. That is the best a man can get, right there.
Damn Russians.
and getting a cigarette mark and getting a cigarette burnt out on your face. That's the best a man can get.
Hey, you know what? Arnold took it in T2. He was just fine, wasn't he? I mean, he broke the guy's hand.
Yeah.
And then threw him into a kitchen with the fryers on. He's like, ah! You know. But man, you know what? All joking aside, this is really terrible. I mean, this is just absolutely disgusting. That we're still having to discuss this. That okay, there's clear evidence that Johnny Depp has been abused by Amber Heard, and she's very vindictive about it too. And yet people are still, they're still like, oh, she's innocent. She's not guilty of these things, or maybe she did do those things, but it's only because that she's the victim. So you get to be the abuser because you're the victim.
Yeah.
But it's like, but usually it's like the man. It's always the man's fault, right? The man's the aggressor. There's no way that a man can be the victim. And unfortunately, this is a narrative that has been pushed by the use of identity politics, which we've always criticized. And it just shows how much the identity politics has been affecting our society. I'm always pointing out in films, especially with with the Marvel and DC shit, about how the use of identity politics has ruined these franchises. And when you go past the movies and the TV shows and the video games, when you get past the pop culture, which has a huge influence on our culture in general, you realize that they were being attacked from all angles, divide and conquer.
Yep.
Right? That's what's been happening. And what's baffling is that people are still denying it after all these years. It's so in your face now. They're in your face about so much. Yet people still deny it. And that's where the term dumb unto death comes in.
It's like that dumb line. It's like that dumb line in Black Christmas 2019 where the girl's like, talking about how she was raped by her, ex-boyfriend or whatever. They have that whole plot line going in there about sexual assault and rape. And then then there's one guy tries to, help her, and he's like, can I help you? Is there anything I can do? He's being a genuinely good guy. And then her friend steps up to him and says like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't help. You're a man. You don't know what it's like to be raped. And it was like, they like literally say that, like that, almost exactly that way. I might be paraphrasing just a tad, but like almost identically, like to that. They like say they're pretty much telling him like, you're a man, you don't know what it's like to be raped, so you can't. No, sorry, you can't.
Well, fuck you.
Help with this situation. And it's like, and it's just like, it's like, are we really?
Well, bitch, you're right. I mean, when I was taking a shower in prison, I dropped the soap and nobody came.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna continue.
No, you're good.
Off that because there's so many places I can go with that. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a pun.
Yeah.
To say the least.
So, final conclusions. Elon Musk buying Twitter. People are shitting their pants and the bed, apparently. I mean, hell, Amber Heard is frightened about it that she shit the bed too.
And we didn't even bring this up, but Elon Musk dating an abuser. He did date Amber Heard.
That's true. I wonder if he's ever been abused, huh?
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be curious because if he if he came to the trial and it's like, yeah, you know what? I find it funny that Johnny Depp has been abused by Amber Heard because I was abused too.
Yeah.
It's like,
but Block
very
Pickett.
Well, everyone's against her. Jason Momoa, even like her own like person she's in a movie with, unfollowed her on like Instagram and followed Johnny Depp. So like that's like telling you something there. So it's like it's kind of interesting that like all these people are rallying against her. So like even if Johnny loses this case, which I really hope he doesn't, but even if he loses this case, he's won in the public eye, I feel now, and it's at least I hope, and that Amber will have repercussions for this going forward. So
yeah. And of course, don't shit the bed, please. Whatever you do, don't shit the bed. Don't be like Amber Heard. Don't be a bitch, as Carter would say.
Yeah,
Amber Turd. And of course, expect more tokenization from Marvel. Gotta love the MCU. And you know what? Since just as a real quick little topic, and of course, I'll actually make a dedicated video on this as we get closer to this date. But we being myself, T-Con, and Special Agent Carter Sauce are going to be going up to Dallas, Texas, from June 17th to the 19th for Fan Expo Dallas. And it's going to be really exciting because Gina Carano is going to be there. And we plan on getting pictures. Hopefully I can get a video with her. I would love to bring her onto the channel. There's so much that I want to talk to her about.
She'd probably be open to it, too.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that she's a really awesome person, a really nice and kind person to be around, to talk to. Also, Nerdrotic from YouTube, associated with Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy, Ryan Kennel, Mara Jade, Eric July might even be there. I'm hoping because he's also in Dallas. I would imagine that he might come up and say hi. I do know that Nerdrotic is going to be doing a meetup. He announced that on Twitter. So around June, June 17th to the 19th, just expect Fan Expo Dallas related content to come on. Follow us on Twitter for that because Gina Carano is also on Twitter. I'm going to be making posts about it. But I'm really excited because the Dark Ether Files was born because of the Gina Carano situation. I won't go into complete details here because I've already gone into some detail, but our channel is the way it is now because of what happened to Gina Carano. Our situations are kind of connected in that aspect, which is why I would love to have a conversation with her because, she represents something that we needed to see in Hollywood, where, you have actors in Hollywood that aren't the raging leftists. It's just they're few and far between in that corrupt system. And it was amazing to see her speak out because she's one of the very few people that spoke out about it. And of course, she was fired for it. That was the consequence for speaking out. But what she lost I would almost say it was a win-win for her. Being fired from Disney was actually a win because now she's not part of that bullshit corporation anymore. And that Disney Star Wars shit will eventually die because it fucking sucks.
Hey, same with Johnny Depp. Now it's almost a blessing that he got fired from Disney because now he's like, because he says he's never coming back. So
right.
Yeah.
So either way, I'm really excited to meet her. It's going to be amazing, and I'm really hoping that we get some good footage. Also meeting Nerdrotic and hopefully meeting Eric July because he's fucking awesome too. So either way, I'm very excited for it. And I just thought I'd make an announcement now, just because we're still a little ways out, but June is coming up real quick. So that's kind of what to expect.
Damn it!
Also,
it should be in July because you're meeting Eric July.
Yeah, funny. As far as new content coming up on the channel here, of course, next Friday should be the next episode of Special Agent Carter Sauce's Magic Projector. We are continuing with the Harry Potter watch along series. It's been fun. Good old Harambe's been getting some good representation. It's been real fun. I think.
I would have liked to have seen Harambe break the neck of that giraffe in Pepsi Man of Azkaban.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Seriously, why was there a fucking giraffe there?
That was random, by the way. It's like a giraffe in the fucking painting is just like running through. It's like, okay.
Why?
I'm very excited to find out what exactly it is about giraffes that you hate, Danner. I'm very excited to eventually find this out. I'm very excited.
You'll probably never know.
We'll see. We'll see.
Maybe.
But also, along with the Harry Potter stuff, we do have a watch along coming up on Friday the 13th, May, for a fan film that I supported, The Fall of Camp Blood, which is a Friday the 13th fan film. We're going to be doing a watch along with Kyle and Peter Anthony. That's going to be really exciting. And also, that same day, May 13th, is when Evil Dead the game comes out. And we're going to be streaming that as well, hopefully. Hopefully early on in the day. I also did order the Evil Dead the Game Collector's Edition, so there's going to be an unboxing video for that when it comes out.
Oh, I wanted to get that. It's sold out, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's what's coming up. How about you, Wolfman? What do you have coming up on your channel?
Well, me being a big Star Wars guy, I have May the 4th celebration. I'm doing a Star Wars trivia night on May the 4th. So if any of you guys want to hop on, y'all can feel free to. I'm hoping I can get like a big time like Star Wars Explained or one of those like kind of bigger Star Wars channels to pop on. Maybe make a guest appearance. It would be a dream of mine if I could get someone like Sam Witwer. I don't know if that would be possible, but he has popped on channels before though to do like Star Wars type of stuff. So
that's cool.
So maybe if I reach out to Sam, maybe he'd be willing to join. But I do want to do something like that, make a really big celebration out of that. And then I also have coming up on Sunday, I will be doing, even though I know we're all like against Disney on this stream right now, and even me partially, I still am going to do a Hall of Heroes on Sunday where I'll be giving my Multiverse of Madness predictions of who's going to cameo, who's not, all that stuff. So you guys can be on the lookout for that. And then I'm also there's a few other ideas I have coming up in May, so you guys just gotta look out for that. I'm also going to be filming soon. We're not starting it till July, but I'm going to be filming soon my Halloween review series. So
right, that is the Hollow Screen Review series, a series of channels including us here on the Dark Ether Files and Mega Movie Z. We got Bacon Pew Pew, J-Man's Movie Cave, Good Real Hunting, Fauci Cinema, Braden Timmons, I believe he's going to be there with us as well. Who else? I think that's about it, right?
Camp Blood Media.
Camp Blood Media, yeah. So it's going to be a big collab, and it's all in anticipation for Halloween Ends because apparently, right, Halloween is going to end. We'll see. But
fingers crossed.
Yeah, right.
Money talks. I'll just say that.
Money. Yep.
I have said it before. If they want to keep that franchise alive after this movie, try the anthology route again.
Yeah.
I mean, Halloween 3 has its renaissance now.
Yeah, apparently it's been getting a lot more traction, although I'd say that the story was kind of mediocre for me personally. I mean, I do enjoy Tom Atkins in there because Tom Atkins is a really good actor.
It's a fucking mustache, man. It's that fucking mustache. That's how he hooks up with girls who are clearly young enough to be his fucking dog.
And if the rumors are true, do you think Halloween Ends is going to be a worthy discussion on pop culture? If it's true that like of what they're saying like COVID exists in this movie and stuff like that, and it's like they're going to be wearing masks and it's going to be kind of like, you know.
Well, the moment it happens, I'm going to get on here and say that they're full of shit.
I think, because I know I'm going to go see the movie with my mother because that's what we do. If I go to a horror movie, I'm bringing her with me. We both love it, although she didn't. Although she really didn't like Halloween Kills much, but I don't blame her. I didn't blame her. But I can almost guarantee that if we go see Halloween Ends and we see something like that happen, we're gonna get up and leave and just go to the Creepy Hollow.
There you go.
That's a Halloween type place that we like to go to every year.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And as a final word, a special thanks to the Critical Drinker on YouTube for this plushie. And this was a limited edition plushie, by the way. Only 1,846 were made, and so I have one. He even has his own complimentary whiskey bottle in hand.
Oh.
So he gets to stay happy with the happy hour, you know?
Yeah.
So,
hey, isn't happy hour anytime?
Yeah, apparently so, right?
Damn straight.
So, anyways, with that all being said, thank you guys very much for watching, listening, supporting. A special thank you to Michael for joining us tonight. It's been fun, of course. The last time I was here, it was with the Lord of the Rings chat, wasn't it? Or were you on for something else too?
Yeah, I was on for. What was I on for?
You were on for Lord of the Rings, and there was something else. Oh, it was the Will Smith thing. For Will Smith. Yep. So thank you again for joining us. I really appreciate it, man. Or we really appreciate it.
Have I been your most featured guest on this? No.
Yeah, I would say you have. I would say that a close run-up would be Bacon. He's been on quite a bit with us too. So I'd say that you've been our most consecutive guest. I would say they used to be Danner, but now Danner's a part of the crew, so that doesn't really count. So, but yeah, you have been our most consistent guest. So thank you very much for coming on, and a special thank you to everyone in the chat. Carter, I wish you could have been here, but you were with us in spirit. Thank you to Emily for popping in; that was really nice, and thank you for Kyle because I saw him pop in the chat. And thank you to our Patreon supporters, Mother Mulder, J-Man from J-Man's Movie Cave, and of course Kyle Curtis Flett, part of the Dark Ether Files Patreon. And so with that all being said, thank you guys very much for watching, listening, and supporting. And as always, until next time, my fellow investigators, remember that the entertainment is out there. I'm Special Agent Spooky Clutter.
I'm Special Agent Carter Sauce.
Special Agent Dr. Richtofen.
And until next time, fellow investigators, remember,
the entertainment is out there.